harsher than Russia. My leg approaches vodka, I'll feast on you. I'll fuck you in half. 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 I see you bringing my head.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Procrastinators Podcast. I am the best guy ever. Send all your money to patreon.com/bestguyever. There's also these other people, but don't send them money. Here's the Devu.
Hi.
Here's Endless Jess.
Ohio fuck.
Mumkey Jones.
Hey guys, don't tell Nate, but I'm hiding under the table.
Well, that's an original meme. And Digibro is here.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, thanks for being here. All right, hey guys, let's...
It deserves mention that we were going to have Ben on this episode, but Ben spontaneously regrew his virginity and couldn't be here.
This is mature men only. There's no room for... I think we decided a rule, what was it? If you go for, I think we said 6 months without having sex, you regrow your virginity. It just comes back, right? Which
that time frame is completely... First of all, I think it was like 2 years or something.
It was 1 year.
One year? I don't know.
Second of all...
I'm thinking more like 5 minutes.
I can't be on this episode if we keep this rule.
That means that if you space it out strategically, you can lose your virginity every 6 months for the rest of your life.
Oh shit!
That's the goal.
That's the most.
Wait.
That's the perfect life.
Time out, Nate. What's all this virginity talk? What is this episode even about?
This episode is about virginity. That's what the episode is about. It's a weird
the
topic.
lack thereof.
The lack thereof. That's true. That's true. Because every man in this call has, in fact, lost his virginity. Though he may have grown it back at some later point.
That's what this is about? Losing your virginity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Okay, sorry, guys. I didn't mean to waste your time.
He actually dropped out of the call.
Okay.
Hey, I'm back.
Oh, it's Jumpy Moans is here
Did
to
you
tell us
lose your
about his
virginity
sexual...
just now? Did you?
I ran off to fuck Jumpy, and now I'm back.
Okay, great. That's fantastic. So we're thinking about doing this just round robin style, telling stories. I mean, I'd like to talk about virginity itself at some point, but that's more fun to just talk about the fucking stories.
We're all such funny guys. You know, it's no wonder we've all had sex.
Yeah.
We're so charming. Isn't any wonder we're irresistible to the broads?
You should see me on my A game, dude, with my van outside the back of the club. You know, a woman comes out for a cigarette. I entice her with magic tricks and sleight of hand, and then I clock her on the head with a bowling ball, get her in the fucking van, and bam, that's how you lose your virginity, folks.
Wasn't she already enticed? Why did you have to clock her out?
It's a complex dance. You
That's
wouldn't
what they
understand.
want,
It's a back and forth. Yeah, they want to be clocked. They want the caveman thing.
This seems like a very Dennis method of
He has to use bowling balls because he only goes after gutter sluts.
I actually meant to say bowling pins because you actually can juggle those, but no, it's bowling balls. Yeah, you hit them with bowling balls.
What size bowling ball do you use? Because I need to practice this method.
The bowling balls I keep in my jeans, dog. Oh, there you go. There you go.
So
Okay,
weirdly
Jesus Christ,
small,
this
and
is-
it takes several slaps to get the job done.
That would just hurt you.
So we're recording this episode in celebration of the fact that Devu lost his virginity.
That's right.
What?
And
That's right. Congratulations.
That's why I propose we do this episode now, because it's a toast, if you will.
Devu lost his virginity to someone in this room, but who is it? Find out on the Procrastinators.
What kind of this quote unquote room that we are recording in? Of course,
It was Digibro in the kitchen with the candlestick.
with the candles.
You're tearing me apart, Davu.
Okay, now Devu, I don't want to be accused of coercing someone to kiss and tell, but perhaps you could give us some
That's the whole
tasteful
point of this
information
episode.
about. Well,
I was definitely coerced into this episode.
That's right. That's right. He didn't want to.
Well,
we forced him to. Just like he did with
yeah.
the girl that he lost his virginity to. There was some forcing going on there.
He forced himself. We forced him by providing him with a list of topics and him writing his name down on the list of topics for this episode. That's how we forced him to be on here.
Okay, Devu, tell us the tale. Tell us this hot fresh tale? Because we're all very curious. We don't know anything about this.
Wait, hold on. I gotta get my lotion and tissues. 1 sec. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it.
You are now listening to Erotic Stories from Real Men.
I had sex.
Whoa!
What the fuck?
Hold on. I want to hear someone else tell the story first so I get an idea about
Yeah, I think it'd be better if someone the rest of us have had years to
come up with a convincingly cool sounding story of it. Yeah,
well, to figure out what the heart of the story is. What's the real meat? Like the fact that we got laid is the cool part that makes us look cool. But yeah, you could just say I had sex. And
I don't know about you
get
guys,
all the props.
but
now I just look at it more as a how can I make this story as hilarious and wrong as possible is now what I want to focus on, So
yeah, there's that, and everyone knows, every real boy knows that sex is the culmination of a lifelong struggle and battle to obtain ultimate victory for one brief moment, which continues for the rest of your life.
At first, Nate, I thought you were going to read the Urban Dictionary definition.
Maybe I should, dude. Maybe let's go check that out.
Well, Nate, do you want to be the first to tell your story?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Let me just see if there's an interesting description here.
I asked because I feel like Nate's story might be comparably normal compared to the rest of us, so I want to have us establish.
I like how you have no idea what my story is, and you just automatically assume Mumkey's virginity story is going to be embarrassing.
Well, I didn't say embarrassing.
Tell me that
it's
not.
normal.
Tell me that it's not.
I can't say that my story is going to be normal in any sense of the word.
Well, I'm assuming that it involves time travel and a net and a beam saber, some kind of helmet that makes monkeys smarter, something like that.
Okay, so here we go. Here's
do we fuck the little girl from Ape Escape? Is that what you're saying?
You fucked someone from Ape Escape. I don't know that it's the little girl
or a human from that game.
You got fucked by the net.
So listen to this fucking description of sex on Urban Dictionary. Here's the description. Sex. What kind of moron are you that you look up sex in the Urban Dictionary?
Oh,
and that's
they got
it.
you.
That's the entire. They got me. They got us.
Oh, man.
These fucking smug cunts. All right.
Pretty
Anyway.
epic joke, XD.
Okay. So I'll tell you my tale. I lost my virginity when I was 21. So late bloomer for sure. I was in college. I was a senior. So I had a girlfriend. And, the thing about sex is that no guy wants to admit it, but it's like maybe this is just me, but I'm kind of obsessed with sex in that I think about it all the time and how to get it and
yes,
whether
Nate,
or not.
No guy has ever admitted that. It's a secret to everybody.
I don't know how important it is to every guy out there in terms of their self-identity, which is what I'm
literally
trying
all
to
that
say.
matters, I would say.
Okay,
is
good.
Probably high on the list of the only thing that matters. A list consisting solely of sex.
I would describe myself as nihilist except for sex.
That's the one thing that matters in this life, yeah. So
Nate,
when you're
before
talking
continue,
about...
could I real
go
quick?
ahead.
I don't typically care about other people's feelings, but as a longtime researcher of virginity, I think it'd be best if we avoided saying things like, 21, I was a late bloomer. I'm guessing a lot of people listening are older than that and also virgins. So maybe avoid that kind of phrase.
I mean, I will. But
sensitivity training with Mumkey Jones.
Yes,
we have to
right.
be all.
Did Mumkey just give us a trigger warning?
Yeah,
on this video?
we have to make sure this podcast is inclusive for incels.
No, because specifically, I know that people who are virgins over a certain age are going to go shoot people, and I don't want Nate to be the next victim.
Yeah, you know what? Before I get into that, I have friends who are still virgins who are much older than 21, and it pains them. And I have such deep sympathy for any incels out there. And I don't use that term. I just to shorten to say people who haven't had sex but they want to.
They know,
I empathize,
though.
guys.
They
empathize.
know.
They know.
There's
they
no
know.
fucking. You can say 21 is a late bloomer. We all know. Half of our stories are gonna be over that age, just so you know.
It's just that the average age for having sex in America is 15 for losing your virginity or something. So it boggles my mind.
Average up, baby.
Yes, we are dragging it up by hook or by crook. Okay.
Partly because we're millennials, and this is a social thing that our generation has a harder time communicating and getting laid.
Yeah.
So it's partly a generational thing. That's my excuse.
That was like the most insecure sounding sentence I've ever heard you say.
I wanted to make it sound that way.
It's a generational thing.
That was the joke.
The problem isn't me; it's my generation.
Yeah.
So go ahead and talk shit. Talk shit about me.
I got my millennials backing me
We
up, boy.
don't give a fuck, yeah. We won't ever give a fuck till you give a fuck about me.
All right, let me get
In my
this is-
generation.
I got a
is awkward enough.
chainsaw. I'll skin your ass raw.
That's a different song, but
I don't care. It's
Okay.
all the same song. It's just one continuous. It's all a concept album.
I was just so excited that someone made a reference to Limp Bizkit that I had to follow up on it.
Well, I'll tell you, these biscuits ain't limp because we're talking sex here on the Procrastinators podcast. How's
That's
that for
right.
a segue? Right back on
Okay,
topic.
Nate, continue
That's
your
beautiful.
story.
Okay, so just there's a fun bit. So I went to Japan when I was I had a girlfriend in college, and never.
Who did that? Who's the funniest guy in the world?
Well done, well done.
Gives an award.
That was my jingle for the imagery we all had in our head of the plane flying across the map, like in Kill Bill. Like, that's what I was imagining. That's why I said
That's Nate flying to Japan. Even though, okay, great, perfect.
Did
Moving
she
on.
love you a long time?
Well, no. Actually, I'm sorry. I know I'm a guy who tells way more context than is necessary. But I was just gonna say, in college, I had a girlfriend. Got a couple handies here and there, but never lost my virginity, which really bummed me out. Then I went to.
I hope this story is just the plot of Beverly Hills Ninja. With Nate.
Yes, that's exactly what you can forget. If you want the short version, just go watch Beverly Hills Ninja. But in additional detail, so I went to Japan like immediately after I had broken up with this girl, and there was a great awakening that took place in me while I was there, and I was the most outgoing I'd ever been in my life. I went out with my buddy Gareth, another guy. I was at this big school where everybody learns Japanese, and me and him hooked up. We met a couple friends there, and we went out
You guys
to the
hooked
red light
up?
district. We hooked up in terms of
That's the story.
heterosexual brotherhood and partnership to get laid. We were both
Okay.
virgins at the time, actually. He was a couple
Not
years
with each
younger
other.
than me. Not with each other. But it became our quest to get laid because he had the worst case of yellow fever I've ever seen, and and we both just wanted sex in general. But he succeeded while we were there for like 3 months or whatever. I did not. But I got so much practice. Guys, go to Tokyo. Go to I forget the name of the district, but go to the red light district. It's the most fun place in the world.
I
You
need
can do
to-
whatever you want.
Nate, you were
nuts.
telling me that the methodology these guys were using
Yeah.
was to go into bars and then just like grab women.
That's correct.
And
That's what
pull
we
them
did.
aside.
I am a
because you
sexual
couldn't-
predator.
There was a
That's
language
correct.
barrier. So you guys would just go in and just grab women, and if they didn't run, then they were interested.
That means they were down.
essentially.
That meant they were
Yeah.
into it. Yeah. That's how it worked. We actually met a bunch of like, I mean, I'm not going to call them professionals, but like guys who.
It's nice to know that some things are the same all over the world.
That's right. That's right. We met guys there who, like, their life was they had come to Japan. There was a bunch of like American dudes from like New York and shit. And there was this one guy, I forget his name, but he
Were
sort
they
of
wearing Naruto headbands and stuff?
no. These guys were just like professional yellow fever like curers of themselves, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it was their goal in life to have sex with as many Asian women as possible, and they allowed us to observe their techniques, and it was fascinating. Nash? No, Nash was my other friend from there. Okay, whatever. The point was, I got a massive amount of experience in a very short amount of time as to how to meet and manhandle women, and it was great. But I did not get laid in Japan. However, we got back to college, came back to school, and with my newfound, highly honed ninja Asian skills, as in my movie Beverly Hills Ninja, I was then able to utilize those ninjutsu arts to, like Halloween came, and we just went to a party or something, and
yeah.
I mean, just the story was actually pretty cool. Like, there was a party at this Halloween place. There was this one girl, I was trying to hook up with her, it didn't work out, and I was really bummed that didn't happen. But then another truckload of new freshmen pulled up to the house in front. They all got dumped out, and on my second major pull of the night, I just grabbed this girl, literally took her out back of the house in the dirt, and we just fucked like animals for a while, and it was fucking
yeah.
amazing. There was dirt everywhere.
What were you dressed as?
I was dressed as nothing. Yeah, I had no costume.
What?
I was just a dude. I had no costume. I
You
might have
got
been a
laid
pirate.
at a Halloween party without even wearing a fucking costume.
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. The only thing I remember
was
was
she
that I
dressed
lost my
as?
virginity at this party, and that was really cool. Because when I came home to all my friends, I was like, guys, I did it! I had sex! And everyone was just...
I have laid with a woman. Inform the men.
and it was
He went to
good.
the party as a virgin.
I
Yeah.
came home a champion. Yeah,
When
was
you
she
had
dressed
sex,
as,
the
though?
party was over.
she was dressed as... She was dressed as... You know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't actually Halloween. It might have been a little bit later. Because I'm thinking, and I don't remember anyone actually being dressed up as anything.
It
So
was
might have
like
just been,
fucking.
in
It was like
October
Ash
sometime.
Wednesday.
Exactly.
Any excuse to party.
Yeah. Anyway, that was it. It was just fun. It was just this experience of going out, learning a bunch of shit about how to deal with women. Then I came home, applied it to these weak white women, and they fell to me like dominoes before my
I'm
mind.
just-
My two questions are:
I'm just amazed you lost it on the in the dirt, like just
In the- yeah,
fucking outside like an animal.
It,
It's awesome.
it was actually nuts. So I met this girl on the dance floor, right? And I had been bummed out because this other girl it didn't work out with. We had tried to fuck, but we got interrupted. And then I went back downstairs to the basement where everybody was dancing, saw a girl, and God, it was a magical moment. I was so amped up. I saw this girl, said, "Hey," that's the only word I spoke to her, grabbed her, pulled her to me, started dancing with her, and not 10 minutes later, I had just pulled her upstairs. We were in back of the house, and we were just fucking in the dirt like animals. It was nuts. No words were spoken.
Wait,
It was
upstairs?
well, we went from the basement upstairs around the back of the house where nobody was, and then we fucked.
Wait, is this
Yep.
like an MC Escher house? I'm really confused.
They were in the basement. We went
dancing, so they
upstairs.
went
That's
upstairs to
it.
the first floor.
Yeah.
Wait,
Nate, do you remember her name, and did you ever talk to her again?
I never got her name, and I saw
What
her
the
again
fuck?
at another party and pretended I didn't know who she was. Yep.
yeah.
Fuck.
Well, she didn't
Fun
remember
fact
me
about
either.
sex
So
does
who
not
gives a
remove
shit?
social awkwardness at all.
Well, it wasn't about
It's,
social awkwardness. I just didn't want to have to then deal with the baggage of having fucked her. I'd rather
he
just move
didn't
on.
want.
you
He
know?
didn't want to
Why not
suddenly
just
be
fuck her
married.
again?
Well,
No, Mumkey, if you talk to
I
her
don't know.
after,
I don't
you
know.
become married, and that's where it all goes downhill. That's the law.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk to her and get her pregnant. That would have been a big mistake.
Yeah, that's Bundy's law. That's
how it
how
happens
it works.
in Clannad.
That's
so
right.
I believe it.
Exactly. Okay, there you go. There's my very sloppy story.
All right.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next? Monkey, Jesse?
I
You
think
guys
it's
wanna-
Davu's turn now.
If he wants. I
No,
don't
it's
know if he...
not.
Maybe we should save Davu for last. You can just
I
listen
think
to everybody.
I think Davu wants to hear everybody else's stories to
Yeah,
gauge his own.
I don't know.
Monkey,
Did you? Why
wanna
don't you go? Nobody's going. Nobody's offering.
Ah, fine, you bunch of fucking
Good.
pussies.
Go.
I'm embarrassed. It's a personal story, and I never should have come here. I'm only here for the money. I have to say things about my life for money now. This Patreon has ruined everything.
Oh yeah,
we've got a
Patreon.com/the
Patreon now, so-
procrastinators. Yeah, everybody go. Bonus
If
episode every
you,
month.
if you pledge $500, Digi will take your virginity. What the fuck was that?
I don't know what that was in response to, but okay, did you? Go ahead.
I assume a spider fell on him. So,
No, that was a
The mental
combination.
thought of Digi naked.
It was a combination of thinking about Digi naked and taking my virginity, and also grabbing my pants.
There it is. There's that world famous endless Jess meme.
There it
Crabby
is.
Pants Man. Yeah.
World famous endless chest wet.
so all right. My story begins as so many of my stories do on the internet, on the pub crawl, the show that I do every week. I still do it. Show where I get drunk with my Australian friend Cider and we talk about whatever the fuck. And it used to be that this show was a live radio show that had a live chat. So people would like interact with us while we were doing the show. I say radio as in internet radio. Very few viewers. But it was like shortly after my 23rd birthday. 23rd? Something like that. It was 2013, maybe 22nd birthday, whatever. I was complaining about how I just turned 20 something and still had never had a girlfriend or gotten laid, and I'm just like whining about it. And then someone in the chat is like, "Hey, I like you, I'll have sex with you, and this is always my reaction, I don't believe you. That's always
Very
how
fair.
I feel.
Very fair.
My reaction is always like, I don't believe you unless you can prove it. But a certain persona non grata was in the chat and was kind of trying to convince them to give more information.
Are you talking about Dr. Wolf? Was it Dr. Wolf?
Yeah, Dr. Wolf got me
Dr.
laid.
Wolf got you the
I can't believe
hookup,
it.
dog. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, so
they don't call him
so
the Hound for nothing. Ow!
she started expanding on the information and was like, I'm completely serious. I want to fuck you. I'm a big fan. I am a woman. Here's some pictures of me, you know? And she'd taken pictures of like no face, just body, you know?
She knows what's important. She knows. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she had a nice body, you know, a nice enough body.
Did you request a shoe on head picture?
You should have.
A shoe on head? What is... I don't...
By the way, I hate that the shoe on head meme has been co-opted by that girl shoe on head. Does anyone else resent that?
I don't know this meme at all.
All right, don't worry about it. Never mind.
So I tell her, like, you know, since she seems serious, I'm like, here's my Skype name. So we get onto Skype and we're talking for a few more hours after the show. You know, I'm sauced, I'm open, and we quickly start talking about it stuff and kind of hitting it off, because the only requirement I have to find someone attractive is that they find me attractive. That's all it takes. You just have to be into me and be at least physically attractive enough that I can be into you back, and I'm sold. So by day 2 of me talking to this girl, we already have decided that we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend now.
Hey.
Might as well.
After through like one conversation, I've already made her cry because I
girls
just
are
was like
weak
asking.
creatures, and they cry a lot. So
I was asking about her personal life, which was shit. So she.
Oh, what's your dad like?
That's
Yeah,
how you.
yeah, exactly.
That's how
I
you
asked, "What's
raised
your dad
me."
like?" And
Yeah.
that might as well be exactly what it was.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, I asked her, "What's your dad like?" and then she was totally into me. So it took, obviously, though, here's the problem. She lives in Montana. I live in Virginia, opposite ends of the country. So we're already at the we need to fuck now stage, but we're living too far apart, right? So instead it's just lots of sexually suggestive texting and Skype calling and, you know, and flirting that way. Lots of very sexual Skype calls. But I'm like, all right, I got to get over there. So I would say within a month of our relationship starting, I bought a ticket to go to Montana. So I fly out there. And she's waiting for me at the airport in like this super skimpy outfit, which is
Holy
hilarious
shit.
because it's like October. It's like the start of October.
In Montana.
In Montana, it's
Yeah,
freezing cold, and she's waiting for me in the car, like freezing her ass off in this skimpy little outfit because she was trying to look sexy for me, you know. She'd been taking birth control pills, which I guess like completely fucked with her and like made her have like all these horrible migraines and stuff. But she
Shit.
just wanted to be sexy, right?
I respect
feel
that effort. Good for
sorry
you.
for her, yeah. But at the same time, made her extremely horny. So.
All right.
So we go to her place, you know, we walk in, and immediately we start making out and stuff, you know. I'm like, oh, I've never been kissed before. This is happening, you know.
Nice.
Got some sick makeouts going on. Start taking clothes off, start moving towards the bedroom. Now here's where shit gets weird.
Uh-oh.
So all right.
Out comes that BBC. I know it's gonna hit that table any second now.
BBC? What is that?
Big
She
black
has a big
cock,
black
dog.
cock.
The
Oh,
big black
okay.
cock.
No, so what happens is, now mind you, she'd been listening to me on the pub crawl, right? That this girl has listened to me like nonstop continually for months. Like she will go to her favorite video of mine is my vlogs about BronyCon 2013, which is like 3 hours of me just describing what happened at this convention, because she just likes listening to my voice, and so would listen to it on repeat like all day. And she had listened to me and Cider talking about like video game discussions on the pub crawl, and we've been talking about the concept of ludonarrative dissonance a lot. So this is important.
Now, I know what that is, but for the audience at home, please explain.
Oh God!
Oh no!
So you're bringing back the trauma. So ludonarrative dissonance is when the narrative and gameplay elements of a story seem to be in contrast with one another.
Watch Dogs 2.
well, the classic example that Errant Signal made a whole video about was Grand Theft Auto 5, where in that game it's got a very serious story. Or 4, yeah. Grand Theft Auto 4 has a very serious storyline, and then in between that story, you're just like murdering people haplessly on the street for no reason. Like, just the gameplay and story were in conflict with one another. It's a very debated phrase, especially in the academic world of gaming.
I killed a lot of people in the war. It was a very traumatic thing as I run over these 7 fucking people walking on the sidewalk.
So,
good man.
Now, my ex, she loved listening to me talk, didn't comprehend a lot of it. Not exactly an analytically minded person or someone who studies
Is she
media.
watching this, Digi?
No.
She's dead. I killed her. She's in the ground.
So
that's how the story ends. You're really
Yeah,
the monkey.
I'm looking forward to that part.
And she would. I don't think she would. She herself would always say, like, I don't really. She doesn't care about what I was talking about. She just liked that I sounded smart and had a cool voice. Like, that's what she likes about my content.
I thought we had to tell real stories here.
So she.
I'm sorry, a woman being dumb is the most realistic story I've ever heard in my life. That's right, ladies. I hate all of you. There you go.
So I'm in her room, in her apartment in Montana, a very sparse room on a mattress on the floor, right? Whoa. And we've gotten to the point where, you know, I'm naked, she's on top of me, she's naked.
Ooh.
She, you know, she's always about being on top, right? Likes to control the situation. I think out of like embarrassment, sort of.
Okay,
like
sure.
she wants things like yeah, like she wants to be in control because she's shy about it, essentially.
Yeah, I get that.
So she gets, you know, she inserts my dick inside of her.
All right,
And
we
she's
get the
straddling
idea,
on
dude. We
top
get what's
of me.
going on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's all
more
important.
Detail, more detail. I'm almost there.
Then she.
Oh yeah!
No, my keep in mind, mental image here. I am 5'8.5". My girlfriend was 6'2".
Holy
So
shit!
she is
She's a big
way
lady.
taller
All right.
than me,
She
right?
does not deserve a dick.
So she has, because she can easily tower over my whole form, and she's at this time, I'm probably 175 pounds. You know, she's like proportional to her height. She's only a little less heavy than me, you know. So like I'm not. She wasn't like fat, but she had a little chubbiness, and she's way taller than me. So she was physically much more imposing than I am. So she grabs onto my wrists and is holding them above my head, right? Because she sort of locked me down.
Okay.
Like I can't move, and I keep wanting to just like. I just want to touch. I just want to, you know, grab things. I just want to. I'm seeing all this for the first time. I want to fucking figure out what it all does. You know. I'm like, whoa, what's this thing? I need to. Oh, I haven't seen that one. What? I'm like trying to reach and grab for everything. I just want to touch everything.
I'm thirsty. How do I get the milk
I
out?
want to shove my fingers into her eyeballs. You know. I just want to like touch all the parts. Figure out what they all do. But she, every time I start touching her, because, I think she's just like shy about it. She keeps grabbing my wrists and pinning me down. And then she would just sit there and she was like, I'm not gonna move until you explain to me the concept of ludonarrative dissonance.
What?
A phrase
What?
a phrase which she cannot pronounce. She keeps saying ludonarrative dissonance like that.
God.
She can't pronounce
This is-
the phrase ludonarrative
This
dissonance.
is next level shit, dude. How did I never
So-
know about this? God damn.
So she keeps telling me, like, explain ludonarrative dissonance, and then I'll start explaining it, and she'll start moving.
Oh my God.
Because she's, like, getting off to hearing me talk, but then once she starts moving, my mind completely goes blank, and I can't do it. So this is, like, probably 15 minutes of struggle between she won't do anything unless I start describing ludonarrative dissonance, and I am just so far out of my element that I cannot possibly describe ludonarrative dissonance in this situation. But part of what I'm grappling with also is that this is my first time having sex, but I jack off more than anyone else in the world. So I'm realizing the difference in feeling here.
Yeah,
That
It's tangible.
That
it's big.
I think I don't want to like this. I don't want to make this gross, But I
Make
think
it
she
gross. Make it gross.
Make it gross.
I think it's been gross the whole time.
Yeah. I'm already gay. Wait, no, the opposite of that. Whatever.
my theory at the time, she was masturbating a lot. Like I know this because I would watch sometimes on Skype. She used all these like dildos and stuff. I think she was just a little too wide for me at the time.
Okay.
And that's how he became Dildo Bro, the world famous.
My point is, I'm just not quite getting the level of grip that I'm used to. You know, I'm used to my hand, which I can manage the tightness of.
They call it the Death Grip Digibro. So
exactly, Death Grip Digibro. So I'm used
Is that
to.
where Death Grips get their name, by the way? Is that
probably?
Yeah,
okay.
from Digibro.
From Death Grip Digibro. That's what they heard this story. They were like, "That's it, man. That's our name right there." Okay.
Well, anyway, so yeah, I'm used to the Death Grip, but she's you know, I mean, aside from it not being the tightest, she's also extremely wet because she comes nonstop. So like, so there's just liquid everywhere, and I'm sliding in and out and around, and I'm like, I'm
like
trying
a
to
slip and
figure out.
slide on the floor.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like, is this like, am I doing something wrong, or is she doing something wrong?
Yeah,
because I can't get off like this, you know. So after all this ludonarrative dissonance shit, like finally we start getting into the meat of it, and we have sex for, I want to say, literally an hour and a half, and I never can come. And like she starts to become kind of distressed about it, where she's like, you know, she's like, am I fucking up? And I'm like, but I think I'm like, at this point I'm having fun. Like after all the ludonarrative shit's over, I'm like, all right, now I'm starting to get the point of this. This is starting to be fun. there's boobs here. That's cool. You know, I can put those in my mouth. Oh my god!
My god!
Oh my god! So I'm fucking her for like an hour and a half. So if we're counting losing your virginity as you have to come,
You don't
then
have to come. You have to insert.
it took
Wait,
like,
hold on. You have to come in a vagina?
No, you don't have to come in a
no.
vagina. You have to
Okay.
insert your dick, is what I would say. But okay,
Yeah.
finish your point.
Well, anyway, so I just my point is that it took a really long time because it took we probably had sex like 2 or 3 times before we got the rhythm down, and then it all made sense and it clicked, and it was like, okay, now this all makes sense. I know what's going on here. I know where my dick is meant to go in this, you know. It's not just a matter of sticking it in. It's a matter of, you know,
dude, that's perfectly reasonable.
fitting it, you know.
No matter
So-
who you're getting with, there's always going to be
Hey.
some period of adjusting to each other to figure
Hey.
out, you know, what works. So that's makes sense to
I
me.
can't help but notice that Ben Saint has suddenly joined the call.
Oh,
I don't know if he's
God.
recording audio or if he
Hey,
if he's
hey, hello, I'm here.
Are you recording?
Oh,
I
good.
am recording. I am
You
recording.
lost your virginity just in time. You made it to the podcast.
Wait, is this the ladies? Is this the ladies cast?
Well, it's
The
the virginity
ladies
cast.
cast.
Virginity.
It's the stories of how we lost our
You know-
virginity.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, well, should I tell mine?
Well,
if
Digi
you
was
want
finishing
to,
up
that's what
his.
the point of this show is. Ben.
Did you that story of yours? You were literally describing like my worst nightmare in life. Of like I'll get with a person and we'll be having like a real human intimate moment, and she'll be like, yeah, now do like YouTuber stuff. Be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Explain to me things. Do an analysis video.
Tell me why Applejack is a real character, Jesse. Tell me
That's
about
exactly-
Applejack.
God fucking
Exactly
damn it!
what it was.
I
When
wish,
you
I wish
come
I had
in me,
been
I
here.
want you to go endless Jess.
I want you to say I'm a demon.
and I want Gibbon on guitar in the corner to strum the beat.
Yeah.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad that I missed everybody's. I'm
Well,
sure
you
You only missed 2. You've
you
only missed
me
Nate and
and
mine.
was it just me? Yeah, me and Digi.
Yeah.
Me and Digi. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When
Well,
did it come?
mine's not really that interesting. I went to college and I met a girl, and there was like some drama about would she leave her boyfriend from high school for me, and eventually she was like, okay, I broke up with my fucking high school boyfriend, and I was like, oh sweet, and I don't know, we like kind of, okay, well specifically we were on like the couch in like our dorm basement, and we were like making out, and we kind of like started Yeah, my first time, I kind of like started fucking her like on the couch in
Sounds like he's making this up as he goes along.
in the basement. no, we were in like we were in like a fucking public basement, like next to like the fucking laundry machines, and like I think someone like we heard someone coming down the stairs like to do their laundry while we were trying to do it, and we were like, oh fuck. So I think we had to give it up at that point, and then we just like I don't know went back to my room and like did it, and it was like okay, and that's it basically. There's
You gotta follow in Digistep and tell us about like how she inserted the penis and all like the really gross details.
We were like laying on the couch and I don't know, fucking inserted the penis.
It's just normie sex is what it was.
It's pretty.
Now, how big was her penis?
The only thing not completely normal about it was that we were in like a fucking public room, and then someone was coming by, and we were like, "Oh shit, let's go to my room," and then we did, and then it was just like whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad my story is so much better than that.
So glad Ben could make it for this episode.
Yeah, really great contribution, Ben. Get the fuck out!
Wait. I also want to say that I'm pretty sure I didn't come my first time because I have the endurance of a fucking athlete.
Of a Kenyan gazelle.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm
a guy.
In my story,
I'm a guy who
I didn't my first time either for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm all about. I'm a slow and steady. I'm all about that endurance. That's me.
Well,
with sex.
I actually felt more accomplished once I was able to come in like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
like that's when I was
I know what you mean.
we've got this down. Like we figured this out.
Because
now I can do it as quickly as I should be able to.
Yeah, the stories about people who like guys who like come too fast their first times. Like I don't fucking get it. I don't get how that happens.
I wonder if that's a bit of a
because they
meme.
probably don't jack off that much. It's probably guys who don't.
I don't know.
Touch their own dicks that much.
That doesn't like going a while without jerking off doesn't really make. Well, I guess if I go a really long time without it, then yeah, like it's I'm fucking a little bit of a hair trigger. I guess that could be part of it.
Isn't the thing about guys who jerk off a lot, or I mean, isn't like the meme that if you jerk off a lot, like you're conditioning yourself to come as quickly as possible, as opposed to like if you edge or whatever, that's like training yourself to endure longer, right? Right? I don't know if that even makes sense.
Well, the thing is, since I was like 14, I've trained myself sort of inadvertently to make it last longer so I can get my money's worth.
That's good.
So I basically spec myself the wrong way.
I can control the exact length of how long I want to jack off. It's all about like, am I doing this because I'm bored and I want it to last all day?
Yeah.
Or am I doing this because I need to get a quick nut before, like, you know, I'm anxious or something. Like,
I use jacking off like
drinking
a coffee. It's a great pick-me-up, and then I can continue other stuff that I need to do
Dude,
throughout
somehow
the day.
it both puts me to sleep at night and wakes me up in the morning.
I know.
It's the
It's incredible. I don't know how that's possible, but it's amazing.
Wait, is that not the case with anyone?
No, that's not the case for me. If I focus so much better before I jack off. Like once I jack off in a day, I'm kind of like my focus is usually just like fried for the rest of the day.
You know, I guess I just wish that there was no
makes me
porn
really
out there that
tired.
interested me, because I'm always interested, like, oh, hey, how can this narrative bend itself to be even more hot?
I don't even understand that. Like, women just look at a woman. That's it. And then, you know, it's attractive or it's not.
The other day, as I was starting to get sick, because I was so, like, lethargic and like, didn't want to do anything else, I just jacked off, like, probably 7 or 8 times that day.
What the fuck?
It was a great time. It doesn't take anything from me. I can jack off to literally nothing. It's just like...
Okay, we're talking about jacking off and shit.
Thought.
We're supposed to be talking about losing virginity.
Nate.
Well, Ben's virginity story was too short.
Yeah,
that's true.
Nate,
That's
Nate,
true.
I want to say maybe you're normal and I'm crazy, but it's for me. It can't. It doesn't. It's not enough just to like look at an attractive woman. I'm turned on by fucking concepts, as gay as that is.
Absolutely.
Well, I know what you mean. There are certainly things that are more attractive than
Can't you
others.
just come up with them in your head, though?
I can come up with them in my head, but
I have so many. I have scenarios that I've imagined, like, for jacking off that I continually come back to. Like I have a sort of library of like pornographic stories that I have written in my own mind, and I can remember all of them going back like 10 years.
You know what?
Like some of them are just like random, you know, like some of them are original characters do not steal, and some of them are you know, like anime characters who I've imagined into these certain sexual relationships that I've just held on to that exact imagination for so long, and it's like a spank bank but a creative one, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I used to do that when I was younger. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I don't really imagine it for myself. Now I don't know what it is.
It's just so easy to Google porn.
If I feel like if I'm imagining it for myself, then like it's not as real as if like someone else has created it. Like if someone else has created it, I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of
I mean, I could definitely get off faster to someone else's creation because they're probably better at it than I am. At least at drawing, you know.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Mental images.
I don't know why it's hotter if someone else has fucking created it and prepared it for me than if I'm just thinking of it myself.
Just think about it this way, like, I don't think our brains are wired for us to, like, like, when you're talking about being aroused or, like, sexual attraction, it's not like our brains were programmed to, like, for us to imagine things that make us, you know, aroused and then do that. Like, it makes sense to me that we're built to, like, visually observe a phenomenon that immediately is a more efficient way of, like, triggering our responses, you know.
It's more like it's a real thing that's happening.
Right.
When incidentally, I don't know about you guys, but if I decide, like, I'm bored, let's jack off, I need to, you know, like, I have to accomplish a boner first, my method is just to go to A on 4chan. Because guaranteed, something on the catalog page is gonna give me a boner.
I know what
That's
you mean.
my pro tip to the audience. If you're like always trying to find something to like start, like, you know, get the because you can't just go right to porn because it looks gross. When you don't have a boner, porn looks gross.
You know, I don't find myself with that issue much. I usually don't jack off unless I'm already aroused, and that happens, like, all the time, so I don't really have much of a need to do it. Because I consider it a waste of time to jack off. I'd rather be doing work, except I need to deal with this problem before I can, you know...
Well, sometimes the crushing reality that your life is the same thing day in and day out really seeps into your bones and creates a lethargy where you think, man, I should really do work today. I mean, I've already produced literally 12 vlogs and a whole video, but I should really do more work today. Never mind, I'm just going to jack off. Something has to make me go to bed because this is too much, you know.
It happens, and it makes me sad every time.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our next story. That's enough about jacking off for now. How about Jesse? Why don't you tell us your tale?
Okay. It was a dark and stormy night. A boy was walking in the snow with his loyal growling.
He was
on the outskirts
far from home.
On the outskirts of Ponyville, a dark shadow was cast.
Nate, don't try to appropriate my memes.
Forgive me.
It's my meme now, baby. I'm the puppy dog boy. You stole my career, so I stole your meme.
We can co-opt it.
Okay, my story is a story of perseverance through hardship, onwards to glory, onwards ascending to manhood, to godhood, fighting all obstacles, going through them, having sex.
No matter how many policemen tried to stop me, I got what I came for.
Yeah.
This sounds like it's gonna be a good story for Victor's book. The how to get a relationship in just 6 easy years.
Right.
It sounds like
how
to
escape the friend zone in 6 easy years.
Right.
That's what it is. Yeah.
It sounds like a great piece of fiction.
The friend zone's for life, baby. Believe it.
Shelve that away in the fucking fantasy section. And...
You know what they say? Real niggas stay friend zoned for life.
That's right. Hashtag babies. Okay, go on, Jess. What else? What else happened?
Okay, so this is it was way back in high school, and my best friend at the time was a girl whose identity I will protect, whose name I'll give her a fake name. Her name was Angela Lena.
Angela's mom.
Angela Lena. Yeah.
Angelina
Jolie, right.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. So she was like my best friend. I had a super huge crush on her. I was totally in love with her, but I was very shy. I didn't know about how to make a girl like me. I was nervous. I thought that she would hate me if I, encroached upon our friendship more romantically, which is always true because women are psychotic.
True.
Right.
So I didn't know how to, make it go that next step. And we would go to like high school dances, and they would always be so horrible, and I hate them because I'd sit and I wouldn't have the courage to ask her to dance or anything, and it was just lame, and I hated it all. And then I fucking eventually it was at senior prom, and she was
That's
there.
That's a make or break. All right.
Yeah, it was make or break. It's like, this is my last chance. If I don't have the courage to dance with her at the senior prom, then that's it. It's my last chance, and she's gone forever. I'll never do it. And I didn't do it. So I was sitting there.
Oh, just when I thought this was like the idyllic high school romance 80s film story.
Just wait. So it was at senior prom, and I felt like I was blowing my one chance, my last opportunity. I was sitting there sad. I was watching her, on the dance floor having fun. I was off at my fucking table with my friends, and I was feeling so low and so down in the dumps. So I just had to get up, and I had to walk out through the door out into like the patio, because we were at some fancy fucking prom place with like a a patio or whatever.
Right.
So I walked out the door out to the patio, and I just to just stand by myself and just mope around and gaze forlorn at the stars. And I was out there on the patio, and this other girl comes up to me who was 2 grades below me, so wasn't supposed to be at the prom, but I guess she had just snuck in there anyways to hang out because she was fucking, I don't know.
Some other guy's date, maybe.
I can
allowed,
hear a rumbling in the distance. I hear a chant coming over the horizon as the story continues. Sex with the young. 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 Sex with the young.
So I was feeling sad and rejected and lonely, and I felt like, I lost my chance. I'll be a virgin forever, whatever, And I was sitting there. I was standing out there on the patio, and this girl from 2 grades below me comes up, whose identity I will also protect. Adriana. She comes up to me, and I remember exactly what she was wearing. She was wearing this like beautiful like shiny emerald green gown. Her hair was like down to her ass. She had super long hair. She was magnificently pretty. She was a perfect specimen, perfect everything, body, young, hot. Sex with the young kind of girl.
Jesse, how long was your hair at this time?
My hair was about as long as it is now, back then.
I see.
So I was a long hair boy back then, too. And so she comes up, and she's pretty, and she's... It turns out, like, I found out years later that, like, every girl in high school had a crush on me, but I didn't notice any of them because I had such a crush on my friend.
Oh, fuck.
So she came up to me.
That's the Victor story, isn't it?
Yeah.
This really is the 6 Easy Years story, except that you got it much quicker.
Well, there was no friend zoned here. Well, okay, go on.
So, yeah, I just remember she came up and she approached me and she talked to me, and we just danced. Like, she danced with me alone out on the patio. It was like there was no one else there, and it was like this weird, like a romantic, like a teen movie, like a John Hughes moment of me. Like, wow, that's a cool thing. But then, anyways, later in the night, I got arrested. So I ended up
Jesus Christ!
I ended up not following up on that with her right away.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a whole big thing with guns and swords, and the cops, they took my sword. And I never got it back either, because they put it in their fucking police station. We were fucking on. They
the cops tell you
They
to not
really took
fucking
your
touch
sword? That
swords?
wasn't a cautionary tales of swords joke?
No, no, we all.
Why did you have a
you
sword?
should be
from his
thankful,
real
Jesse.
life.
Because I went to prom as a pirate. I had a sword.
This is a whole new dimension.
The cops took my sword.
Is that why the girl came up to you?
They had
Did you
me
wanna
and
be
all
her-
my friends. We were on our knees on the side of the road. We were laying on our bellies. I had like 12 fucking guns pointed at my head at one point. It was really scary and really traumatic. And they took my sword, and I lost my sword forever. And also I didn't see Adriana for a fucking year after that. And also, so it was like, it was a year later, and by now I was, however old you are after high school, a year after high school, like 39 or something. So I was, so I was still a Virgo. all these long months after high school. So after that, so it was a year later, and we ended up getting kicked out of our house because of rent stuff, which is why we always get kicked out of the house. My life is just like an intermittent homelessness, peppered by like occasional sex with the young.
Right.
So like we were getting kicked out of our house. I know Ben can relate.
It's so true.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's a worthless human being. Okay, what else is going on?
Yeah, totally. Agreed on all counts.
Yeah, so we had to move. We had to get out of there. So my mom, you know, we fucked around. My mom picked a house. She fucking, in a little bit of ways. Turns out, out of complete happenstance, this house that we were now moving into was neighbors with the girl who danced with me
shit.
at the senior prom. So
Holy shit.
she
This
messages.
still counts as John Hughes level. I don't
Yeah.
think we've lost it yet.
Yeah.
It's got some extra plot twists,
Yeah.
but it's going in the right direction.
The action scene with the sword fight and the guns
Yeah.
was a nice
Right.
little
Maybe
interim.
this is
yeah, the
maybe
fucking,
this is a little bit more Joss Whedon than does she die at the end?
my Scott Pilgrim sword fight at senior
Yeah.
prom that ended in bloodshed and carnage and tears. Yeah, so she messaged me on MySpace because that was the fashion at the time. I had an onion on my belt, and we were all using MySpace. And she messaged me on MySpace like, "Hey,
Onion on my belt.
What does that mean?
I know all about the onion on the belt. Us old timers.
Us old timers.
Yeah. Back
okay,
in the
Grandpa.
day. Yeah.
That was the fashion at the time.
Yeah, you know, you could get the yellow onions, but if you wanted the choice white onion, if you were a high class bloke,
What about red onions? Is it like
foreigners only.
Okay, all right.
That's how you knew they weren't from around here. They're red onion.
So fucking.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So fucking Audrey Lena fucking messages me on MySpace. She goes, "Hey, I guess you're moving in next door to me. Whoa!" And I'm like, "Oh my god! Second the yawn! And I'm like, well, yeah, totally, babe." I was real cool on MySpace.
Yo,
So-
on the surface
so-
he was calm. Oh, wait.
yeah.
What?
I had spaghetti all over me.
Yeah,
and
there
stuff.
it is. That's the
Yeah,
one.
there we go. That meme. So fucking.
I really blundered that one. All right.
So we moved into this house. It was a really cool fucking farmhouse with like a huge like a yard. There was cattle. There was like big old fluffy cows in the backyard and stuff. It was a cool house and it was a big old farm. Like, and then like there was a fence at the top of a hill, and you just hopped the fence, and then you were at her house. So we started talking when I moved in, and like, yeah, let's fucking hang out and fucking hang out and fucking yeah. So I fucking, so she messages me one night while I'm there. She's like, "Hey, I had a big fight with my dad. My dad's a jerk. I hate my dad." I'm like, "Oh no, what's your dad like?" And she goes, so she starts telling me about her dad. So you know. So I go over there. I climb the hill. I hop the fence. I go over to her yard. We sit on her back porch. We have to be quiet because her parents are sleeping. And so I'm just sitting there on her porch. I put my arm around her. She's like crying about her dad. I put my arm around her. We look at the stars together. We talk. We bond. At night, we gave a little kiss. Got a little kiss that night.
Nice.
And I
On the dick.
hey, don't make my story. This is still an innocent. You don't sully it with your porn
Yeah,
fantasies.
you're still on the you're still playing the Marvin Gaye. You haven't yet switched over to the
Yeah.
DMX.
I'm still
That's right.
I'm still dabbing the lube on the butthole. I'm not pushing on it yet.
Yeah.
So I went back to my house and I went to bed that night feeling so fucking groovy. So like, yes, I have a girly friend. I'm gonna get more kisses. Maybe I'll even see a boob. I was so excited. So the next day, she comes over to my house, and we start kissing more. Because now it's a thing that we do now, and now we kiss. And we were fucking making out. We started making out. I started touching boobs. I started touching her fucking body, pulling her, got her shirt off, got her fucking pants off. Started touching that little hairy 17-year-old puss.
And that's when
on it. Altered being.
That's when through the air you just heard that one song coming out of the ether. I go hard in the motherfucking paint, nigga. I leave you stankin', nigga. What the fuck you thinking, nigga? Yeah, that was the one. That's
no. This is the song I heard off in the distance. Bark, arf, bark, arf.
Yeah.
I got a tiny little puppy dog erection. Stick it inside your tiny without protection. So I was touching on the vagina. I was holding her small, her thin little frail, perfect little teenage body in my hands. You know, holding a young woman's body in your hands, feeling her skin in your palms. You know, you just realize at that moment. I realized that this is the only thing that's real in life. Everything else is the fucking Matrix. This is all that there is. Yep. This is all that will ever matter to me. This is my desert of the real, and I am fucking Morpheus. I am Morpheus and Neo combined. I am the one. I am all the ones. I'm Jet Li combining all the ones into one.
Everyone
press
one
for Munchie. That's who I am. In that moment, my Christ consciousness levels skyrocketed to a plateau never seen before or since by anyone in history. Just fucking holding that small young sexy sex with the young woman in my hands. Yeah! I can still fucking picture it in my mind's eye. It gives me power.
In that moment, in California, a being was created by the name of Munchie, who had all the powers of this Christ consciousness. That's Munchie's origin story. Yep, that's where he comes from.
So we were getting real hot and heavy, me and this girl, and I was touching that little vagina. I was touching those boobies. And then I got the blow job. I got the blowj, people.
Nice.
The blowj. I got a nice. I got just that perfect, inexperienced, toothy 17-year-old blowj. The best thing that you can experience in life.
Très magnifique. Mwah.
Yes. Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So when do you actually get laid?
I'm not there yet. I'm not there. This story has layers. It has chapters. It's a saga.
It's an onion, like Shrek, right? Okay.
Mine was like a sentence and a half.
Yeah.
This story is almost as good as Shrek.
Yeah. So we were doing the stuff.
Somebody once told me the world's gonna roll me.
Hey, depending on what year this was, that could very well have been playing. I know Jesse was a big Smash Mouth fan.
Shrek is just the story of Jesse's life in ogre form.
Taking girls back to my Astro Lounge and sexting
right.
with the young.
In the fucking swamp dungeon.
But no. Back then in my old house, I lived in the upstairs. It was very different. Yeah, I had like a patio on the roof that I could walk out into with a door. It was awesome. It was tops Blueby. But anyways, you know, we were at my house, and I was touching on the vagina there, and then we went and we hopped the fence over to her house, and that's where I got the blowj. So I got the blowj at her house, but she goes, oh boy, my dad's gonna be home any minute. You gotta get on out of here. So I fucking left, and I walked home feeling good. Oh my god, I got a blowj. I got a fucking toothy 17-year-old blowj. Oh my god. And I went to my fucking house, and I went to bed that night feeling like, any day now, I'm gonna have the sex, the real sex. The next day, she sends me a long message on MySpace.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
We went too far, too fast.
Oh, no!
I'm not ready for this.
Sex with the young.
Sex with the young.
Sex with the young.
It was a mistake. Sex with the young is a mistake. Don't do it.
Sex with the young! It was tragically ripped away from me!
80 years later, Jesse still crawls the land to this day looking for blowj.
Crawling through the desert, malnourished, dust on my breath. Sex with the young! wandering the streets of the city of fallen angels, wandering with my little cup full of spare change. Sex with the young, sir. Can anyone spare some sex with the young?
Jesus.
The sheriff of Nottingham comes and pushes me in the mud and says, "Get a job." He takes all my fucking spare sex with the young out of my cup.
You almost had a whole one.
There's that Clockwork Orange scene where your two old high school buddies who were your droogs, they find you out on the street. They drag you to the fucking bathtub and just drown you for fun, just to watch you suffer. We've got sex with the young. Where's your sex with the young?
Every time Jesse comes close to having sex with the young, it triggers the memories of the program he went through, and he has to,
That's right.
he becomes paralyzed, and his dick falls off, and he just can't even do anything.
I hear the fucking Beethoven.
No, they play fucking Macklemore.
No, stop it, please. No. Yeah, I hear they gave me the fucking Ludovico technique where they fucking played that Macklemore song telling me I have too much white privilege, and I flash back to it. No!
Now whenever I try to have sex with a young, I have to read an article.
Little did they know that would create the greatest white privilege warrior the world had ever seen.
So, all right, Jesse, I gotta know.
Yeah, what the fuck else happened?
I need Act 3.
So she broke up with me, and I was fucking devastated. Not just because I liked this girl and my heart was broken, but also because I was so fucking close to losing my virginity, and it was ripped away from me tragically. So as a young man would do, as like a however the fuck old I was, 19, 20, 39, whatever the fuck I said.
I raped her.
Yeah, of course. She owes you. She owes you at this point. It's time to take what she owes.
Well, you know, I flipped out. I was not mature enough to handle it. I was blown away that I had gotten so close. So of course I begged and I pleaded and I did all the the beta cuck shit. I was very pathetic. No, I didn't beg for sex. I begged for her to get back with me.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Thought it was Jay Bauman back in high
I wouldn't blame
school.
you though. I'd beg for sex every day.
Yeah,
It's my favorite thing to do.
So the breakup got really ugly and really weird. It got really horrible. She ended up like telling like all of her friends at school that I was like a bad guy or like a creep or a pervert or something.
Oh God, what the fuck?
It was fucking terrible. Fucking,
Bitch,
I remember
you got buyer's remorse.
Yeah, this one guy who was like a friend of both of ours. I'll say his name, Chris Peters, because he's a fucking piece of shit cuck, and I hate him, and I hope he burns in hell and dies.
Fuck you, Chris Peters. Yeah.
I hate him to this day. You know, he was like a friend of both of ours, and he sent me this message one day like out of the blue, like calling me like a sick pig, you sick motherfucker, you're fucking, and he's running down all these like made up rumors of the stuff that I supposedly did.
Typical orbiter behavior.
Yep, exactly.
She's the one who sucked your dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's the pervert.
You know,
He coerced her though. He was too sexual of a man. It's his fault. He's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
It was
seductor.
too long.
Yeah.
I was too irresistible, you know. I made
That's a
her
crime.
abandon her scruples, and she couldn't take it. She had to lash out at me. So I was like persona non grata. I was like fucking ostracized. My personal and professional reputation was ruined in my own hometown. Everyone hated me. You know, I was banned from the theater. I was banned from the high school, even though I had graduated a year earlier. They had to keep me away from all the young.
I'm sure they revoked your key to the city at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They tore down my statue. So at this point, I'm just like a shell of a man. I'm just a fucking broken boy. I'm walking around. I'm just a fucking sad. I'm a lost puppy dog boy howling at the fucking moon. Bark arf, bark arf. I'm fucking lost in this world. I have no one, and I'm like, this is it. I'm never gonna lose my virginity. I'm gonna be like this alone. It's never gonna happen for me. You know, I had gone through high school watching all my buddies, you know, one by one high-five each other. One by one, they all had that morning, walking in and high-fiving each other at the fucking lunch table, and every fucking time, there were more high-fives that I wasn't a part of. I had to fucking, you know, that does something to a boy. You know, watching everyone lose it but you, and then you get so close, and I was just hopeless at this point. I was on my fucking rock bottom. And I was like that for a whole nother year of like, when's it gonna happen? And so then, you know, and during that time, I kept trying. I just kept fucking, you know, when I fucking saw a girl on Facebook, I'd message her. I'd try so hard to make conversation with girls.
Oh God, Facebook came around by this point. That's how long it took. Oh.
Yeah. Yep. I think the Dear John letter I got from Adriana was the end of MySpace for me, as I had to go to Facebook at that point. You know, and so the year went by, and there was all kinds of, you know, more awkward, terrible fucking things. There was a fucking thing with a girl that I fucking spooned with one night, and it got weird. And she got mad at me, and that made me, it ruined my reputation even more. There was like 5 girls that I tried to rape, but they all beat me up because they all knew karate. One time, it was fucking. Damn it. All these karate girls got off a bus, and I thought they were regular girls, and I could rape them, but it turns out they were karate girls.
If it would any other bus, it would have worked like a charm, but not this bus. Fate it wasn't in the cards in this day.
And who's just gonna try the next bus? Like at this point, you're so demoralized.
You're all battered and beaten up, and you just.
Yeah. You're like the Wile E. Coyote trying to get sex, and boulders keep falling on your dick.
Sometimes you just gotta know when to call it quits and cut your losses.
All these damn Acme broads, they always backfire on you.
What is the Roadrunner cartoon but an allegory for male sexuality? That's really what it is at the end of the day.
I mean, we all know that a girl's version of karate is to kick you in the balls, so he probably had, like, his balls were probably just in pieces at this point.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like this story is reminiscent of How I Met Your Mother, where, like, 8 seasons of the story have nothing to do with what happened.
and the people are still clamoring for more at the end of it. They don't want it to ever end.
That show had the weakest last 3 seasons I've ever seen.
They say, God damn it, Jason Segel, tell a new story, please! Don't abandon us.
Jason Segel, it was Bob Saget telling the story.
I never watched that shitty fucking
Learn
show.
your
I don't
How
know.
I Met Your Mother lore, you stupid
I would rather fucking die than watch that shit! That fucking show.
It has that Patrick O'Neill, what's his name?
Yeah, it's not even a real anime.
He makes funny meme jokes, dude.
All right, I need to know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris. It was Neil Patrick Harris. That's the guy.
Surely we're
Neil
near the
Patrick
climax.
Harris.
So I desperately tried. I tried for a year, still trying making conversation with a girl. I finally got a girl to be like responsive to me, and it was another girl who had apparently had a huge crush on me in high school and never said anything about it, because I guess girls just think, you know, they don't have to say anything about it. It's my fault somehow. Fuck you. You know. There's another girl who finally is like, okay, I got her to come over. I got her to come over to my house. There's another girl whose identity that I will protect. I'll give her fake name, fucking Secretariat. So this beautiful, gorgeous young horsewoman comes over to my house to hang out. And we just started kissing, and we just started making out. And I remember my bed was a futon, and it was currently in couch mode, so we were laying in the couch, on the couch in my room with the lights off. We were just making out and touching each other more and more for hours and hours. And I got her clothes off. By the way, I have a basically a flawless record, except for that first time. Always sex on the first date, and ever since then, no one will ever stop it. We were fucking touching, we were making out, and I got it in her. I got it right in her.
You got it.
Monkey, you were absolutely right. The story had nothing to do with the ending. The whole thing was just a big fucking shaggy dog.
Well, see, that's what I was saying at the start. When you're talking about a man losing his virginity, you're describing a story of a man's entire life. That's right.
You Philistines. You needed the emotional arc to find out. Yeah. Without the emotional arc, you just get a Ben story where it's like, oh yeah, I can do it.
That's right. And that's what the people fucking want. That's what the people fucking want. They want clear, concise, sterile Ben stories.
Your story was awful.
My
story has a fucking human element that people can relate to. That's why people fucking love me. That's why I get the patron dollars more than Ben does and always will. That's why
I when you began telling your story, I went out to like get some tea, and it took 2 minutes, and I missed the whole story.
I understand people. Hey. I know how to connect with people on an emotional level. And so as I was saying,
I mean, Ben wasn't
okay.
here for Nate's
All
story,
I'm
which
saying-
had the entire story of him going to Japan and coming
well,
back.
that
which
is
also,
super relevant.
you know.
That is super
Yeah.
relevant. I wanted to say about this story
look,
too.
Look, I could have
all right.
gone on about my life story leading up to like when I went to college and met a girl and all that shit, but like it's not relevant to the actual act of how I lost my virginity.
It's totally relevant. You
Ben's-
have to know the fucking emotional arc. You gotta know about the fucking
Yeah.
John Hughes prom. You
It's
gotta know
about
about
what
the
the sex
fucking
meant
police
to
cops
you.
who took my sword away. You gotta know about the fence that I had to hop a fence. You gotta know everything, man.
I think Ben might have elaborated more if he had heard the story.
This is a
that you were
Yeah,
story
telling.
I think I would have, and now I'm kind of fucking lamenting that I didn't fucking know what I was
Well,
fucking
maybe you
supposed
should be on time to the fucking PCP.
This is a
Ben,
story that
all right?
spans from MySpace to Facebook.
the greatest expanse in human
Damn it.
history.
I'm just look, God damn it, I could have spun a yarn. I could have spun y'all a yarn, but now it's too late. Fuck y'all. You don't deserve it.
I don't care.
Hey,
Shut up.
but
I'm
you
not
know,
even done. We were making love. Me and
all
this fine young mamacita. We were making sweet love on that couch in the dark. We made love for like fucking 8 hours. You know, my mom came home and she's like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, shut up. I'm making love to a beautiful young woman in here. Ma, get out of here. Ma, get out. And I'm fucking making love, and it was that very special kind of like awkward and terrible, but also passionate and awesome first time sex that can only happen that one special night in your life with that one special girl. And so we did it, and so then after I took her home, I came home and I was so amped that I just started eating everything in the house. I ate all the food in the whole house. I fucking opened up a can of beans, like fucking Skull Monkeys, cold beans, a cold can of beans. I just fucking devoured it like an animal. I was a man possessed. I was fully in touch with the primal manimal beast. The ancient thing deep in my lizard brain had awoken. And so then the next day she came over and we watched Rambo 2. We watched Rambo First Blood Part 2, and then we did it a million more times, and then we dated for like a couple years, and it was a good time, and that was the most important story ever, better than Ben's, and that's all that matters. Yeah.
I think
excellent.
everybody's is better than Ben's.
You
Ben's
fucking,
wasn't even really a
you
story.
fucking faggots.
All right,
Ben
hey,
just-
before
Ben
we,
was a cliff notes of a
that's what he gets. Hey, but before we move on, I thought it'd be interesting just to point out how, because everyone was saying Jesse went on for a long time before the actual act, but I think that's really what's interesting about it, because to everybody out there who's a virgin right now, it's not like you just miraculously have sex one day. It is about a real life struggle you have to go through. Like Jesse, both you and I had innumerable failures on our path to actually having sex. Everyone has to go through that.
People, because like you were saying at the beginning, we all have friends who are virgins, who are late bloomers, as we were, and who are losing hope. They're gonna lose hope, as I once almost did, but you can't lose hope because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen if you keep trying. That's the moral of the story. That's why I had to tell you about all the failures, all the struggles, all the trials and tribulations. You had to hear it.
Getting a lady is exactly like working out, in that it is an ability that you can start training at any time and get really fit and get really swole or get really good at getting girls. Any time you can start. So if you're 80 fucking years old, just start now, and in a couple months you'll have one. I guarantee it if you work at it hard.
Incidentally, I might as well, for the members of our audience who don't also listen to the Dick Show, I'll give you Dick's the two most important tips for picking up chicks, which have worked for tons of people. Number 1, your opening line: comment about their shoes.
That's a
it
good
works on
tangible
all
one.
women, no matter what. If you just say, "Hey, I like your shoes," it will be an opener. Just
Because
talk
they're
about
also
their shoes.
shallow and stupid.
You
I'm not even joking.
Well, because they
It works.
care about their shoes.
No,
Well,
you
it's
right.
it's something very specific. It's
Let me
because women
fucking
can-
let me fucking fix all of your wagon right now and tell you why that line works. It's not because women are stupid or because they're shallow. It's because literally
is.
anything can work. It doesn't matter what you say.
here's
It
the
doesn't
thing.
matter
Well,
that your
well,
opening
the
line is a
important thing-
stupid thing about their
no,
shoes.
no.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
important
yeah,
thing
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah,
shoes
yeah, yeah.
specifically is that all women wear shoes.
Yes.
And, well, for the most part,
Right.
is that no matter what they're going to be wearing it.
Not
but
the
it's-
jungle
there's-
sluts I'm fucking, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's not, like, if you compliment a girl's, like, shirt, it looks like you're looking at her tits. If you compliment this or that, like,
Right,
there's some things that girls don't want to be complimented on, or that it'll mean the wrong thing to them. But
You're all
if
wrong.
it's just if it's the
very
shoes,
No. Here's why. It's because men don't think about shoes. You know, I drew a character design last night, and my girlfriend was like, "Where's the shoes?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think about shoes. I am male." So girls are not accustomed to men commenting on shoes.
So what you're telling me is that what women want
them into thinking
out of
that you're
men
actually being considerate.
So what women want out of men is a woman, is what you're telling me.
All right.
I
Step
think what
one
you need
is
to understand is that a woman is nothing more than a bigger 6-year-old girl, and instead of dressing her dolls, she's now dressing herself.
Of course.
Always with the red pills, Mumkey. Thank you for keeping us sane. We need to remember that.
so aside
We need
from
to
that,
remember
though,
women
the-
aren't people. Right, okay.
The shoes are the opening
No, they're
line.
children.
And it's I mean, you can find there's other opening lines you can use. I should have the other day when I recorded my what was it? Neurotic stories from Real Man, where I had my failed story of where if I had just asked the girl about the beer, it would have been the perfect opener, but I failed miserably. If you haven't heard that story, it's on my Reddit. But shoes are a universal. All girls are wearing shoes. Compliment their shoes. You don't even have to look at the shoes. You
So
just
what's good
say
about
the
this
line.
line is that it's one you
'cause
can use
women-
any time.
It's because
Yeah.
it's something
Yeah.
that women put a lot of thought into, is what fucking pair
Yeah.
of shoes they're going to wear, and nobody mentions it. All they hear all day is, you've got a nice rack, you've got a pretty face, but you should smile more, and your hair's pretty. Everybody says the same shit. Nobody talks about their
Smile
shoes.
more.
Yeah.
And then the second important line, because you've gotten yourself in the door with the shoes, but now you're lost because you don't know what to talk about because you don't know this girl actually. You just started a random conversation. So if things seem to be going well, you bust out, "What's your dad like?" Ask them about their dad. It doesn't matter if they have a good or bad relationship with their dad. Either way, they're going to open up and become more intimate in the conversation, and that's what you want. So, yeah.
Well, now
Start
this
with
is
the
all.
shoes, follow up with
now
the
what
dad.
Digi's
Aren't
relaying
you-
here is all a bunch of like secondhand stuff that he's heard another man say.
From the
Aren't you-
from-
aren't you
from-
gonna
from
weird-
many callers into the Dick Show
I'll
who've
give
used them.
people a real tip. I'll give people a jest tip, and this is tried and tested. The true way to get women is not with some magical pickup line that you're gonna go up to some stranger and talk to someone like that's gonna happen.
It's just a template. It's
you-
not something that's
no.
always gonna work, or
listen,
that you should just
I
guarantee.
think that people
you know,
need. I think people really need to quit being bitches and be less afraid to fucking talk to each other in real life and go and fucking hit on a girl in public. Because who fucking cares?
You're absolutely wrong, Ben, and I'll tell you
true.
why. Because
No,
anyone
no,
who fucking
no.
approaches any other human being for any reason in public is a piece of shit, and I want them to die.
Hey, actually, I
if
have a tip.
anyone fucking came up and started talking to me, whether it was a man, woman, or child, I would snap their head backwards and let them fucking twitch on the floor until their life escaped from their eyes.
Hey,
No one should. I'm giving a fucking jest tip. God damn it!
That's
This
a
is
good
the
point.
only real fucking tip, is to just fucking evolve into a man. You have to have that women want to come to you. That's the only fucking tip. You fucking because if
Well,
you
yeah, sure.
I have
That's
zero
fair.
respect
That's hard,
for
though.
anyone who
It's a
fucking
complex
approaches
thing.
a stranger and tries to fucking hit on them. They just look pathetic to me. They look like pathetic little weak fuck boys who
no,
have to
fuck
go out
you, dude.
searching
Fuck
for women
you.
like
You
a
are-
fucking caveman,
Shut-
like
no.
a fucking
What?
hunter-gatherer
What are you
picking
talking
berries
about?
in the fucking jungle, like desperately, like standing out there like a bullfrog, shooting your
damn
fucking
it.
neck sack out, saying, "Please, some woman in here, please like me. Hey, do you like me?
talking-
Do you like me?"
talking-
It's
to
fucking
go out
pathetic.
and try to make a human connection, put yourself out
No,
there. You
it's
are
not
a
having
fucking
balls,
hero.
it's being
and
not
you
a
deserve
cool
to be
person.
celebrated.
Talking
It's
to
being
girls, talking to
Oh
girls
my
is scary, and it's scary, and it takes
These fucking
fucking, it takes
pathetic
fucking
fuckboys.
courage.
It takes balls,
It takes
dude,
fucking
yeah.
courage.
I'll tell you
yeah,
what takes
actually-
courage! Being a great man takes courage! Working day in and day out to be better at your fucking chosen profession than anyone else, to where you're so fucking good, to where you're so talented and so inspirational that women everywhere flock to you, that you don't have to go up to them.
look, but
That's
most-
what makes a real
most
man.
people-
That
Oh
takes
yeah,
courage.
that's
That
what we
takes
should
bravery.
tell. That's what we should tell every fucking lonely guy out there. Don't approach
Yes,
women.
it is what we should tell them.
Don't
Be
talk
better.
to women.
Be
just,
a better
just,
man.
Just whoever you are, no matter what, just stay home and practice your shit or whatever, and
Yes,
eventually you'll be
that's
so
exactly
fucking
right.
good that
Jesse,
every fucking
that's
girl
so-
will come and hit on you. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
It's
How does
bullshit,
this work
Jesse.
for
It's
people
bullshit.
in non-creative positions?
doesn't.
Like,
Fuck
if you're
them!
just-
doesn't work,
Fuck
no.
people in
Yeah,
non-creative
yeah, that's what I
positions.
thought. That's what I
They're
thought.
less than human. They don't deserve to live on my planet anyways.
So, guys, everyone knows, oh, you just gotta get good at talking to people, but it's like, do you want to go through the whole pressure of failing at that over and over again? You're gonna have to, but I have a life hack for how to train up those skills in some regard without as much of the shame. Omegle. You know, whether or not the person that you're talking to is actually female or is actually 90 years old, the fact is they're a human. And you can use that as like sort of like a punching bag to train your strength of talking, breaking the ice, figuring out what question to follow up another question. Just go on Omegle for like hours into the night.
That's actually one thing that I've done.
And just practice. Because when it goes wrong, you just pull the plug and you don't feel that much shame because they don't know anything about you.
That's what you got to do in real life. That's what you got to do in real life.
I honestly feel like that was how I leveled up my ability to fucking like talk to people and like give off the air of being natural and fluid in the conversation. I knew how to like progress the discussion without it seeming forced but still being interesting. That was how I trained.
What happened to just being like a cool person, and you hang out and you talk to people, you get to know people slowly in your circles who grow to like you because you're just cool, and it happens
let me tell
naturally.
you.
I have
I'll
no
tell you what
respect
happened.
for these cowards, these chicken shit pussy
Jesse,
men
listen to me.
who walk
Listen
up to
to me.
strangers. It makes me sick to think that
No,
any
okay,
human
you
would
gotta
walk up
fucking
to a stranger.
if you're not fucking
Everybody be
meeting
quiet.
strangers,
Listen to
hey,
me.
guess what? If you're
I'm
not
making a
fucking
point here,
meeting
Ben.
strangers, then you're never gonna fucking expand your fucking circle.
All right, that's exactly the point. What happened, Jesse, is that the real world has changed, and people spend their days alone. They need resources that they can use to go out and meet people. We don't just work on fucking farms now, and you're co-mingling with people all the time. I mean, people fucking work IT jobs. They sit behind a computer all day. There needs to be things they can do if they're going to meet people because their day-to-day life doesn't introduce them to people on a regular basis. They have to. It's not like no. What is psychotic is the lifestyle that we've all been living as humans in the 21st century, where we live isolated, alone lives. We need to strategize to make our society function so that people have opportunities to have the real human interactions that you're talking about, because they don't arise naturally anymore.
Primitive, like this fucking primitive, like standing around like a peacock, going around fucking coming up to women like a fucking monkey and fucking approaching strangers. Maybe some people don't want to be approached and talked to by a stranger. Maybe some people, shut up, Munchie! Maybe some people, fuck off! Holy shit! Maybe some people have social anxiety. Maybe some people don't want to be fucking talked at by a fucking stranger. Maybe people shouldn't fucking think it's normal to walk up to someone like a fucking psycho and start trying to hit on a fucking stranger who might not fucking want it. It's retarded and psychotic and creepy, and it's fucking, you're like a fucking animal. Why is everyone a fucking goddamn primitive idiot but me?
So you advocate for never introducing yourself to people.
Never talk to anyone.
I just want to thank Munchie for coming in and peeing while Jess was screaming.
Yeah, I heard that. It was not incoherent.
I'm not sure if he was recording.
Holy
that
crap!
or...
I advocate being a regular fucking guy and like talking.
No, you advocate
Jesse.
being a YouTube star who women approach. That's what you said the first time.
Yeah.
How's that regular?
Yeah, it worked for you. What about the rest of the world?
Hey,
what
about me and my blue collar?
Hey!
Yeah.
That's right.
I was able to get girls before YouTube by being a normal fucking person who was just cool and funny. And when I'd go around in my social circles and I would fucking hang out with people.
Where do you get these social circles? Where are you developing these
Jesse,
social
Jesse,
circles?
Because fucking friends have friends of friends. That's how human beings
Look,
meet.
the first friend. Where does the
you know
your
what?
friend zone come
No, you
from?
know what? Look, I think if you've got a fucking healthy social circle, then yeah, you probably are going to be meeting new people in the course of fucking,
Right.
your circles connecting to other circles and stuff. Yeah, I think that's legit. But like, I'm talking about, what if you don't have that? What if you're just fucked?
Yeah, what if you have
Then
no
fuck
friends?
you!
What matters? What matters is think about this question in the context of the audience who's hearing it right now. And these people don't need the kind of advice like go be a YouTube star. They need tangible things they
I'm
can
giving
do
them
to
advice.
improve
Go
their
be a
social
regular
lives.
person. Go outside and be like a normal, nice guy.
Look, I'm
And-
just
well,
saying.
okay.
What if
Sure.
you've got? What if you're like a bunch of? What if all your friends are like a bunch of nerds who just hang out and fucking, I don't know, play Magic the Gathering all the time, and you never go out and you never meet anyone?
Well,
Then you're fucked.
There has been this invention called the World Wide Web, and there
Yeah.
are like trillions of dating sites that are free.
Yeah.
That people go
Just
on
in
and they
your own
specifically-
story.
I'm not
Different
against
people
that.
before
Yeah.
came up to you at prom and gave you a fucking blowjob a year later. If she didn't approach you as a stranger, you never would have got that blowjob.
There we fucking go. There we go.
I wasn't a stranger. I knew her. We went to fucking school together.
But she's.
Look, I'm sure Jesse had
she
to execute
approached
to
me
make
because
that happen,
she knew
you
me
know?
and liked me and saw me hanging out. Nobody fucking should approach strangers randomly.
Jesse, okay. I
What's wrong with
agree that
striking
it'd
up
be
a fucking
great.
conversation in public?
Because I don't want a stranger to fucking talk to me.
Well,
I don't
listen,
want
you
someone
know-
to strike up
you
a
know,
conversation.
Jesse, I heard a
tell them
great
to
line
fuck off.
once.
No, listen. I want to say this,
Okay.
all right?
All right.
Okay, people need to fucking... I think people should approach people in public, and I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to tell others to fuck off. And like, I think...
I agree.
I think that girls... I don't understand this sometimes. I feel like girls can get approached by guys and feel scared that like they can't tell them to just fuck off. And I don't know. Like if it's like alone in like a dark alley.
Of course they
or
feel
something.
fucking scared. Guys are stronger and might rape them.
But if you're fucking in public, in a public place, you can just be like, leave me alone. I don't know. I feel like a lot of girls are scared to just be like, I don't want you to talk to me, okay? Maybe, and I know maybe some guys don't take that well, and maybe it doesn't always work. I don't know. Am I fucking crazy? I think that the way the world should be is everyone should feel free to like go up and strike up a conversation with anyone else, and everyone should be free to just be like, fuck off, don't talk to me, and then we should all just respect that.
Okay,
That would be my ideal fucking world.
My vision for the world is that nobody should ever have to say fuck off because everyone should mind their own goddamn business and be normal.
Jesse,
And
I
then we
heard a
have
great
Elliot
line.
Roger every week.
I heard a great line once, and I'm going to say it to you now because I think it's really important for guys to think like this, and for women too, and it's that no woman ever walks out of the house in the morning not wanting to meet the guy of her dreams. And if you just think about that,
What kind of retarded pickup artist bullshit is that? Who gives a shit?
What do you mean, who gives a shit?
It's making a point that it's never a bad idea to try to introduce yourself to people because you never know if your
I disagree
interaction is going to
vehemently.
be
It's
mutually
very
beneficial.
bad to introduce yourself to strangers.
All
It's the
right,
worst
all
thing a
right.
human being
Can I
can
tell
do.
my story? This argument's
yes,
fucking
Monkey.
retarded.
It is
let's move
retarded.
Everyone is wrong but me.
Okay. So, unlike some of our predecessors, I'm not going to give any extraneous details that aren't important to the story. So, when I was growing up, I lived in a pretty poor neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
That was the joke. the joke is that I said I wasn't... Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
But really...
I got it.
Right.
We understand.
But that actually is part of the story. I was just fucking with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, growing up...
Tell the fucking
when I
story,
was-
Bumpkin.
I'm confused.
They're wasting
When I
my
was about
goddamn
8.
Where
time.
does truth end and the lies begin?
When I was 8, I lived in a pretty poor neighborhood, and I was actually, like, the kid who got bullied by everybody. First of all, I've always been really short, so I automatically had the nickname Little, and everybody fucking called me Little. And I remember one time, the leader of the bully pack was named Terrell, and these fuckers would just chase me around the neighborhood, like, calling me a faggot and stuff, and I would have to
Jesus.
I'd have to, like, find places to, like, hide, like, inside, like, abandoned buildings and shit. But it was
Goddamn.
motivation. Because as I was aging, I wanted to not only, 1, get taller, which never happened, but 2, prove to them that I am not a faggot and that I can have sex, goddammit.
So I assume that one day when they were chasing you, they caught you, and that's how you lost your virginity. That's what happened,
Yep.
right?
It's a regular 500 days of the kite
Yeah.
flyer. Anyway, so yeah, at that time when I was a kid, the only friend I had was named Kevin. And he stood up for me sometimes, but he ended up getting peer pressured by the other guys to also bully me.
That sucks.
But Kevin, he was like halfway there for me, like when it was just me and him. And then in public, he's like, yeah, fuck this little monkey bitch.
Sad.
But it's all part of the story. So I'm 15, and Terrell, this guy I was talking about, he really got me. He just fucked with me at lunch one day, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. So I left school early, and my school was kind of near a lake, so there's like a little beach that I would always go to, and I was sitting just in the sand, just like, you know, maybe today's the day I kill myself. Fuck this.
Oh shit.
But Kevin, he followed me.
That's really
from
sad
school.
that you didn't.
Yeah, no.
You made the wrong decision that day, Mumkey.
What happened?
He said it's really sad you didn't kill yourself.
Oh, yeah, well, definitely. I still believe that.
Right, okay.
But Kevin saw what happened at lunch, and he followed me, and he was sitting down next to me, and we were just, like, talking. And then he like, just reached over into my pants and started giving me a hand job.
What the fuck?
Okay, all right.
I was like, what the fuck? So, like, that's the first time anybody had ever touched my dick, and Kevin just jerked me off, and I came in the sand.
That's the first time anybody had ever had sex.
Is this real? Is this a true story?
This is
Yeah,
a meme.
yes,
This
it's
is a
a story.
meme. This is a meme. We're getting memed.
I'm not memeing on you. So
What happened? I was taking a piss. Did you jerk
Monkey's
off a
gay.
guy?
He's
Is that
telling
what
us
He's
that-
telling a fucking fake story because he's insecure because he's still a virgin.
So after getting my dick jerked off by Kevin, I got
Right.
the motivation to get revenge on Terrell. So I went into his class and I picked up my fucking chair and I smashed it against the back of his head. Instantly expelled. I got arrested. Fast forward 10 years later, I'm a 24-year-old gangbanger. They start calling me
God,
black.
what story is this? He's quoting some story. What fucking story is this from? It's not.
And, I get a phone call from Kevin. He's now a chef.
Is this a plot of Moonlight? Is that what's happening here?
that what this is?
None
God
of us
damn
have
it.
seen Moonlight, so
That's why it's funny. So Kevin calls me. He's like, "Yo, Little."
he's still going anyways.
still
it doesn't
going.
matter.
Now that
I
the
was like-
fucking jig is up.
I was like, you know what? I'll go see what's going on with Kevin. You know, maybe he'll be impressed that I'm now a big, muscly black man. So I go to the
See, from the beginning, I almost said at the start of the story when you said Tyrell, I was gonna joke that doesn't sound like a white person's name.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well,
I didn't want to
but then
bring.
I thought,
I didn't want to bring race into it or anything.
well,
neither,
no,
me
I
neither.
thought it would be funny, but then I remembered that Monkey told me that he didn't really grow up with any black people, so I thought, and that he definitely would have mentioned if the guy had been black. So then I was like, well, maybe it's a white guy, and everyone's gonna think I'm
now,
racist.
please
when he
don't
points
interrupt
it
the
out.
story. He's still telling the story. What else?
Yeah,
What
of
happened, Mumkey?
So yeah, I go to Kevin's restaurant. And he cooks me dinner, and he like has a wife and kids now and stuff. But then
Is Kevin's restaurant called Kevin's Doghouse by chance?
Oh my God!
But he was my dog.
That's what we called it. That's what
Anyway,
we
how
called it.
my story ends is he takes me back to his house, and we have like this really weird, awkward like moment, and then it just cuts to black, and we don't know what happened.
Man,
And that's how I
shitty-
lost
that
my
story
ending,
was
dude.
worthy
That's
of
a
Best
shitty ending.
Picture.
Yeah.
I would have given it to
Worthy
La
of
La
best
Land.
story.
I think.
See, that's my story.
Thank you, Monkey.
If not for
And,
the fact,
and none of it would have happened if Ben Saint hadn't approached the stranger monkey in the sand and started jacking him off.
we never would have figured out what that was if not for the fact that I've listened to Monkey's podcast about Moonlight. And that's the only reason I was able to pick up on it. Just haven't seen the movie.
Well, this has been a great waste of time.
I don't suppose we're ever gonna get the Monkey loses his virginity story.
No, that's what
are
happened.
we?
That's what happened. That's what
Devu,
happened.
do you want to tell your
God,
story?
it's
monkey,
Devu.
I
Who do we
fucking
have
hate
left?
you so
We've got
much.
Devu
Just
and
a vote. Just a vote.
That's it,
That's
just
just
Devu.
Devu.
Okay, well.
Oh man, this is fucking fresh. This is fucking fresh.
First of all, I'm gonna be coughing during this, so I'm gonna have to keep muting my microphone. I have some tea coming up in like a couple of minutes. I'm gonna go get that tea. It'll suppress the coughing some. But yeah, this is gonna be a bit disjointed. Okay. In fact, I'm gonna do a small cough right now. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, cool.
You know that'll still be on the recording, right?
No,
Like,
I
all
didn't
the
mute it on
coughing will-
Discord.
It's
I
way
muted the
funnier that it was
microphone
cut
itself.
out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a professional. I
Holy
know what
shit,
I'm
that
doing.
was hilarious. Okay, all right.
So I should begin this by saying that I've never been like particularly outstandingly interested in sex specifically. I'm not exactly sure why, but I've been much more of a fetish person, I guess. I kind of grew up on DeviantArt kind of thing, right? I started jacking off when I was like 11 or 12, I think. But it was like when I was 19 when I had this moment of, man, you know what would be really good? To fuck a girl. Yeah, man, I should really like do that. So, I mean, I guess maybe part of the reason why I was like that is I was raised all Christian and stuff, so I was just sort of like in a Christian environment where like all the girls around me you're not gonna have sex with. I'm sure like the really cool ones are all like, getting it like in some sort of subzones away from the eyes of all parents and all pastors and shit. I didn't know. I wasn't nearly on that level of cool. So
You know, Devu, this isn't a criticism on you at all, but it's interesting that like the Christianity kind of suppression of sexuality seems to have the result of kind of pushing you to the fringes to be into more,
absolutely, yes,
stuff.
yes,
Yeah,
without
yeah.
question. Well, I mean, I assume that's why I'm like that. I don't know. So it's kind of strange. It's like growing up not having anything close to sex. Like I hugged a girl once. That was the extent of it when I was 15.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't
Yeah,
this.
dude,
It was
yeah.
never like me feeling bad about myself because there wasn't this sense that anyone else.
Hey.
It's like not feeling like you're poor because you
Yeah.
live in some shitty
You
third
weren't
world
watching
nation.
the high fives
Hey
like
man,
Jesse was.
Yeah.
that's the stuff, man. I have sex with girls to get to the hugging. That's what I value. That's what I look for.
Yeah, me too. It's like Fucking
That's what they called me, you know, back in my college days. Good old desperate for an emotional connection, Jess.
yeah. I mean, I always
Desperate
wanted a
Jess.
girlfriend.
I need a hug. Yeah. That's the one.
Holy fuck.
But yeah, like, you know, I've always wanted a girlfriend for emotional connection, so I can hug something, and also so I can do all the kinky stuff with it.
I've
you
bought
know,
a lot of pillows to
that'd
help
be-
with that. So
You know, so
I recommend it.
yeah, so you know, but again, it's just like the idea of getting a girlfriend in the environment I was in would be a huge pain. Like, you know, my parents have a pretty like free form approach to parenting in a way where it's like if you can make your own lifestyle happen, then you can do it. So basically, if I was willing to like completely upend my like shut-in lifestyle and like obtain social gatherings outside of the purview of my parents over the course of years, I probably could have gotten laid like when I was like, you know, 17 or something. I mean, I am pretty forward with girls, but probably in more of a holding up a sign saying "have sex with me" sort of way. So maybe not in a successful way, but I don't
Is
know.
that a Christian method
Yeah,
that you're
but
citing there?
but I mean, I got like a couple of girls who were like, "I like you," and I got a girl to hug me and who was gonna like go mini golfing with me, but like
God, this is the hottest story. This is the hottest one yet.
yeah, but like the girl who was gonna go mini golfing with me, who I hugged, she was like too nervous, right? This is the league that I'm dealing with. Like she was too nervous to do something as steamy as go mini golfing with me. You know, like that this was just the kind of girls I was surrounded with, or at least the kind that are attracted to me. So yeah, you know, so it was just, and then after that, you know, after I'm out of high school and stuff, or rather high homeschool, you know, the first job I get, and the only close to regular job I've ever gotten, was just working in my family business. So once again, my dad and my brother are around all the time, and the only people we interact with are our customers who hire window cleaners, and they're all in their 60s. So, you know, that's not going to work. So you know,
I doubt many millennials are hiring window cleaners.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just have an app for Windows now. So so I go through sort of like the end of my adolescence also just in this like environment of not having anyone around. I did have two friends who I hanged out with like once a week, every week. Both were female. Neither were like interested in me, and I wasn't particularly interested in them. But I was around estrogen all the time, so it kind of like kept it in my mind. I was like, yeah, you know, I really need to get out there, but like, how? I don't have a
You were huffing the fumes of estrogen in the
Right,
atmosphere.
right.
Hold on, let me go get my tea. It's probably
emanating from the bleeding puss of all the surrounding.
Dude,
you
I
don't even have
fucking
to go to
fucking
this tea.
vape estrogen. I'm way in.
Hold on, talk about estrogen while I get my tea.
Okay,
Will
go for it.
do.
You know, let's talk about this phenomenon. Let's talk about this phenomenon of being around girls, because I find it not at all satisfying and mostly infuriating that I'm not having sex with them.
If you're not having sex, then being around girls is infuriating,
Right,
and
agreed,
frustrating.
I wouldn't know. I've never done it.
Speaking of which, I'm recording this from my girlfriend's house right now, and when this podcast is done, I'm gonna go lose even more of my virginity. So
Oh, that's not okay, dude. That's not okay.
Been in the corner. That's been in the spotlight, losing his virginity.
Trying to keep a few.
It's been 5 minutes, so that virginity clock has reset. It's time to.
It's not a sudden. It's not a sudden 1 year and it's back. It's a slow tick up to 100% virginity over the course of a year.
Yeah, like Mob Psycho.
But it's an exponential growth. So like halfway through the year, you're 25% back to being a virgin. Mm-hmm. Like that.
You know what's funny? Okay. We had that argument earlier about approaching girls. Mm-hmm. And then I just remembered I have approached girls and had sex with them who were strangers. So I'm completely a hypocrite.
It's good shit when it works out, right? And as long as everyone's cool about it, and the guy, and I think you can approach a girl and not be weird or pushy, and I think that I highly condone that.
I'm still against it morally.
But Jess, if they weren't YouTube stars, how did you know to ask them out?
I'm back, by the way.
I don't understand the question, Monkey.
Okay, let's
I was
continue
just throwing your argument with a single rhetorical question. Go ahead, Davu.
So yeah, you know, it was tricky. It's like, how exactly am I gonna have sex? Like, I have a lot of space in my room, but it's not like quiet. Like, there's not that much like audio suppression, so like people could hear what's going on. So it's like, who would I bring home? Like I don't have any like public social life, so it's like, who's gonna show up to my house? Who I've been like, it's just like tricky, right? I was trying here and there, but like
tricky.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, dude. I want them to hear. I want them to hear my grunts and my slap sounds and the dripping of my leavings as I abandon this corpse on my bed afterwards.
Are you
That's what I
shitting
want.
in the middle of sex? Is that what's happening?
That,
there?
yeah,
let's
all,
not-
all fluids are being
Let's,
released.
let's not gloss over this corpse angle that emerged.
No,
in the
moving on.
story.
Moving on.
Okay.
The thing I look for in a girl is the more people I have living in my house, the louder I want her to be.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, so when I then in September of last year moved into this house, it's like, hey, my parents do not know what I am doing at all. I could like go to the airport. Digi could drive me to the airport, and I could go anywhere now. My parents don't gotta know shit about fuck, so now there's no limitations really, as long as I can shell out the money. So I just was going to dating websites again, and I discovered one for a very specific fetish of mine, and it's like sweet. And I looked at the profiles here, and it's like the number of incredibly attractive girls who describe themselves in a way that is so perfect to me in regards to their kinks. I was like, where have these people been all my life? They're just all here. And this website is particularly scammy with its paid membership thing, right? Where without a membership, you can't message anyone, right? You can't even read messages from other people, right? For a like $15 a month membership, you can send messages to other people. Don't worry, this is very important, right? You can send messages to other people, but they can't read them unless they are also a $15 so like the silver membership, right? But there's like a $80 for 3 months membership, which is the gold membership.
Fine butt.
Right. If you get a gold membership, which is expensive as hell, you can message people and they can read it even if they aren't a member at all, even if they don't have a membership at all. And I was like, aha. And I was like, there's just so many good profiles on this website. I'm going to go for it. So I sank $80, right? And I'm like, well, I got 3 months. I better message everybody.
No woman is worth that.
I'm getting the impression this whole story is going to be very expensive.
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do in today's fucking economy, all right?
Yeah. I mean, I spent $400 something for that round trip to Montana.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mine was an expensive story already.
And it had exactly the effect I thought it would have, which is that when there's that huge of a paywall, the number of people actually writing messages is pretty small, right?
Sure.
Which meant like an actual like perceptible percentage of girls replied to me, like 1 out of every 5, and I was like, holy shit, this is exactly what I paid for, right? Because the girls on this website are not being bombarded with emails like they are everywhere else, right?
The system works.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that makes
like
sense.
I was like, yeah, this is scammy as hell, but it works, right? So eventually I got a girl that way. And like very forward, very fast paced. Like like a few hours into our first conversation on a Facebook audio chat, she's like, "Yeah, great. We're great matches. What do you want to do about it?" I'm like, "Oh,
You feeling lucky, punk?
That kind of shit. So it took a while, but eventually, I flew over to her. At this point, she's just like a wreck waiting for me. And incidentally, like
And she
doesn't
was
have
like
good
a
home
car wreck afterward.
Well, she doesn't have a good home situation. Her house is really tiny and packed, so we're like, oh, we can't be there. So in addition to a plane ticket to Oregon, by the way, the actual opposite end of the country. Well, okay,
Even
the
farther
actual
than
opposite end would be
Montana.
Alaska, or I guess Indonesia. But anyway, in addition to that, I also paid for a hotel. So like a lot of my money, most of my money, but hey, it's to a good cause, right?
To lose
Help
your
the-
virginity, no
help the
price is
children.
too high. It's
Right.
got to be done.
Yeah.
The first time's special. Every time after that, you start
Absolutely,
to become.
yeah.
Your nose grows longer and longer, and your hair gets curlier and curlier.
What?
And
I don't know what
and
you're getting
a
at.
Star
What
of
is
David
this?
symbol starts emblazoning itself on your chest.
Oh God.
Yeah, you become more of a Jew. Is what I'm saying.
I thought it was
Well,
funny, did you?
Thank you, Bumpy.
So
I'm
yeah,
offended.
that's I flew over to her, but yeah, it's in a little hotel. It's smaller than it looks. This is how I learned that all those like travel websites use like wide-angle lenses for the interiors. So it was a really small room. And we go in there, and she's
bed.
just immediately, because we'd been like, just hugging and like smooching each other's cheeks for like, for like a whole hour
That's
now,
cute.
like in preparation to get there. So at this point, she's like, "Let's fuck, come on, let's do it, just go." I'm like, "No," I was like, "No, babe, we're gonna like pace this out.
babe.
Come on, we're gonna like
Yeah.
get frisky.
Dinner first, babe.
We're gonna do
Yeah.
hand stuff, and eventually we're gonna go." And she's like, "No, come on, just fuck me, come
God
on."
damn.
And
That's
she's just
awesome.
like, she's just pushing me towards the bed. I'm like, "Oh, fine, whatever,
She really, it was like fucking pulling teeth in there. Really,
You know that's pretty fucking alpha, Devu. It'd be like, oh,
No, it is.
whatever.
It is.
I guess.
respectable.
I guess I'll fuck you if you.
I guess I'll lose my virginity if I
that's-
must.
That's hardcore. I like that. I like that.
I
a
mean,
lot.
later, like a couple days ago, she called me and was like, "I wish we'd taken it slower." And I said, "Oh, you wish you'd
Oh,
listened to
fuck
me?"
off.
And she's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." And I'm like, "Yep, I'm always right."
Well, Devu, how does she feel about having been absorbed into
And
the
and
Devu
being
collective?
right
Is she,
was more
pro?
satisfying than the sex.
Nate, what did you say?
I said, how does she feel about having been absorbed into the Devu collective? To be,
Yep.
to combine her essence.
So I mean, like she'd had sex before, but only like once. So fucking. I mean,
So she's a member of a few collectives at this
yeah,
point.
she is like
understand, I
4 years
understand.
younger than me. It's like she's
Uh-huh.
she's gonna turn 19 tomorrow. So it's like sex with the young hashtag, of course. But like she
Fairly
wasn't
young.
like really experienced at all. But like I was just like. I don't fucking know, right? And I had the same issue that Digi described, which is it just wasn't enough pressure to really like get much of a thing going on. And I should probably bring up at this point
Ladies,
that
do
she
your
was,
Kegels. Do your Kegels, ladies out there.
yeah, she was also on her period too, and that was
what
kind of
a-
an issue.
oh.
Yeah,
What a-
That's annoying.
Unfortunate
but-
Poor-
flight timing.
Poor planning.
because
what can you do? You can't regulate. You can't schedule your life around that shit. You never know.
could.
what the
You
fuck.
could,
I absolutely
actually.
could have. I absolutely would have. She had told me that it was an irregular schedule, right? And it is. But she said, yeah, but it is toward the end of the month. And I was aware that when you would schedule it at the end of the month, it was probably likely. But I was just so
damn.
desperate to get you here as soon as possible.
Why
And
do
so-
women choose
Yeah.
to make life so difficult for everyone
Yeah.
else?
And-
Why
and-
do
and
they-
By
she
having
happened-
periods.
And as
That's
the
right,
days
that's
went on,
right.
because she had already been going for like 3 days by the time I got there, but for whatever reason, she had like this extra long one that lasted the entire time I was there.
that was God trying to stop you, but you've defeated him. You didn't let him.
You killed God.
You
Well, I
killed
don't know.
God with your mighty
it pretty
cock.
much didn't allow sex to happen for the most part. We only did it like a few times. I
Hey,
made
if
her
you got
come
it
a couple
once, dude,
times.
that's enough.
I made her go a couple times. She didn't make me go a couple times because it was just so hard for me to get into the mood to do it because I was too squeamish about it.
Yeah, I know
I
what
didn't
you
want to
mean.
make
It
any
is pressure.
stains. A couple of
The
things
funny,
got.
the
Didn't want to
funny thing
stay.
about that, like the second time I went to visit my my ex at the time, like she was on her period, and like I didn't. Like she didn't like just say that outright that's why she wouldn't, because like it took like 2 days before I could convince her to have sex with me, and it was driving me fucking insane. Like I was like flipping
Sure.
I was like flipping shit. I was like,
That's why
what
you're
is
there.
happening? Why is it? And she was just like, but I'm on my period, and I'm like, I don't care. Why would I care? She was like, it's gross. I was like, I don't fucking care. You can rub your
Yeah.
blood all over my
That's
body.
how I
don't
feel.
give a
That's
fuck.
how I feel.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
just
I
want to
didn't-
put my dick in
I don't really
that,
mind my
you know?
body. It's just there's sheets everywhere, which it was doable because related to the kinks we were participating in, we had those
God.
bed pads you have for bedwetting purposes. So you just put some of those down there on the bed on the mattress. That makes it pretty fine. But still, it was just one time we
So,
fucking.
you don't have to explain what your fetishes are, but did you at least get to indulge them in this
Yeah.
trip?
Yes,
in this
but not a
venture?
whole lot. Like it was.
Okay,
It was.
some.
It's
That's good.
funny.
But you
like,
got to confirm whether or not you were like, because I feel like with weird fetishes and stuff, you always like you expect that you're gonna be into it, but then it's not until it actually happens that you're completely sure. You're like, yes, I've confirmed now. I was
Well,
as into this as I thought.
It's really
you
difficult
know?
because her period interferes with the fetishes as well. It just interferes with everything, and like. It was just
Well,
it was just a different sort of situation where it's like I felt weirdly less horny than usual there because it's like I'm meeting a new person. Well, I mean not physically new to me. I'm in a new environment, and I was really more just interested in hugging her constantly because I hadn't had someone to hug before, and it was
Sex
just
is,
nice. It was just
you
nice
know-
and fun, you know.
Yeah, I
So-
understand. By the way, I think a lot of fetishes are exist a lot more in the people's minds than actually performing them. You know, like a lot of them are just
Yeah.
like the fantasy of it. I'm not saying that's necessarily you. I'm just saying that in general, I'm sure there's a lot of people who aren't actually into scat as much as like the porn they like to look at. Makes them think they
yeah.
are.
I don't know. I'm into like
For example,
Right, for example.
Right, yeah, that's not mine. But like, well, not exactly. But like, yeah, I'm as I said before, I'm more into like a concept type of thing. So it's more, it's not as much about the physicality. It's more about the idea of what's happening. Like by far
okay,
the
sure.
best day that we had was toward the end when we went out and we Ubered around town, and she had a sippy cup and she acted like she was like low functioning autistic. And I was like talking to her all condescendingly. That was like the best day. An ice cream lady handed her ice cream. I was like, "Here you go," and I was like, "Fucking yes, great time."
Dude, what the fuck?
That's
See,
that's some
it's not so
that's
much
interesting
about
shit.
coming. It's about having fun experiences of life where you fuck with the definitions of society in ways that no one knows about.
I get it. I do get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So like. So yeah, we didn't do a whole lot of. I mean, like she was never once able to make me come in any way, like directly. Like she couldn't even jack me off because she doesn't have the fucking endurance. Like her arm just isn't capable of doing it. Like she gets too tired.
I will say, I mean, I've only been with one woman, but she was completely incompetent at the act of jacking my dick. I literally like.
Well, yeah,
she
they don't have the kind of
she
years
like
of
wanted
experience,
to, and
you
she
know?
kept trying, and I was just like, "Stop it! You don't know what the fuck you're doing."
I mean, for what it's
don't
worth,
touch
like
my dick with
there
your
was a time
hands.
where I was trying to jack her off with like a little thingamajig, and like my fingers were like were like splitting out because they weren't leveled up in the regards of the finger pushing. But I was able to do finger. Basically, she was way more horny than me the whole time. You know that's understandable.
Okay.
But yeah, I had a great time, just not a whole lot of sex. So I didn't once come in her at all. But you know, we have plenty. We're gonna see each other again somehow, sometime, preferably soon. So. But yeah, the
There's
most
nothing
important thing
wrong
is we had
with
a
the
great
first time,
but
even if it's a
fucking-
complete clusterfuck. Like it doesn't matter. This is a skill to be learned anyway, so nothing. It's totally reasonable. I had a terrible time.
I guess
my
that's
first time
it,
too.
yeah.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah,
Has
well,
there
that's
been an
all of
episode
our.
about fetishes yet? Because I want to hear about this low functioning autism shit.
No, but we should talk about that some other
We had a
time.
porn episode, and Devu wouldn't come on because he didn't want to talk about these.
Well, I'm
fetishes.
just.
That's right.
Well, I just felt like it would. It's not that I didn't want to talk about it. It's just that I felt like it would be too far along for anyone to be able to like deal with. Like
Well,
people would be like,
all right,
"Yeah,
all right.
you're not like on a level where like I can care anymore." But I don't know. As time has gone on, I've witnessed the extent to which the other PCP people and the viewers are like surprisingly similar to me. So I might change my mind. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I'd fuck a retard.
I think it is legitimately offensive to me that people think that retards wouldn't also enjoy sex. That
Well,
bothers
wait a
me.
minute. Wait, how
They should be
retarded
allowed.
are we talking? I
We're
mean,
talking full retarded. We're talking
just
maximum
picture
retarded.
Nate. Just picture Nate.
Yeah,
and we're
there
talking
you
about
go.
that. As a retarded man, Nate is offended on behalf of his people.
It's a well-known thing that like the first thing babies do, and you know, people with low IQs are like babies. They'll diddle themselves. They'll play with themselves. They fuck with their junk. So why doesn't society allow me to play with retarded people's junk?
I thought you were gonna say to play. I thought you were gonna say to. I thought you were gonna
went
say
a
to play
weird
with.
direction,
I thought you were gonna say to play with baby's junk.
I totally changed directions in the middle of that, but hey, whatever. Yes, I want to have sex with retarded people. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, let's move on to the questions. Yeah.
Okay,
Wrap
let's
this
do
thing
it.
up.
That's
I just want to say, Digi, when you were telling your story and when you were trying to do the impression of how your girlfriend couldn't pronounce that phrase, I thought she was retarded.
No, I think I mean, she just was stumbling. I think she was like playing up the fact
she
that
had
she
the
couldn't
retard
pronounce
strength.
it.
She was
but
holding
she
you
definitely,
down.
yeah, she was
Playing it
massive.
up.
So
Weird.
like the fact that she couldn't pronounce the word because she like I think
Oh,
she just
because like
couldn't remember
she's pretending
it,
to be
you know?
dumb so that you'll explain it to her.
You know,
That's like a
it's
thing
like
that's
the old.
Exactly.
It's like the old saying goes: "I would never want to sleep with a woman retarded enough to sleep with me."
That's right. That's right.
Like
Thank
the-
you,
the
Rodney
way her-
Dangerfield. She'll never be
she's
forgotten.
a very she was a very like redneck mentality about like intelligence, which is like I'm a simple kind of person. I don't want to know these more advanced things.
Okay.
But then what's
okay.
attractive about me is that I sound smart and cool. I don't know. It's an odd combination explanation.
So you're
'cause for
kind of
me
like
it's
a fetish. The intelligence is like a fetish.
She's a
sapiosexual.
sapiosexual. Yeah.
Yeah, there
God.
you go. There you go.
I don't think she's like exclusively into smart guys or anything. It's just
yeah,
what
sure,
was
sure.
particularly appealing about me is that I use big words and have a good voice, you know. So, anyways,
you like to do that?
Yeah.
We
I
almost got through the whole
me.
podcast without doing that.
Believe me, I did plenty of.
I've no doubt. Okay, all right. For the love of God, let's move on to questions.
Yes, please.
Okay, here we go.
Please, no more.
Our first question here comes from our good friend at the Hypocrite. Who
Whoa.
Yeah, he asks, "Will I ever get a girlfriend?" Sad face. Yes. Yes, you will.
Yeah, he
Guaranteed.
definitely
Ladies,
will.
this is the public service announcement. Everyone, get out there and date him.
Yeah,
He's-
ladies, get your butts and date him.
I'm not.
If you
This is not
happen to live-
condescending, people.
if you happen to
Hypocrite is a
live in
wonderful
England-
person.
If you happen to live in England or France, then and you think Hippo's adorable, go suck his dick.
And
Please.
Yeah.
The
He's the
problem
coolest
is, though,
guy.
if you're not
We-
already
we
in
already-
his friend circle, don't talk to him.
We
Yeah,
already
yeah,
found
totally.
we already found PCP guys, so now our next bounty is Hippo's virginity. Whichever fan can.
If you want a prize, a PCP prize, just like in last
Yeah,
one,
you'll get
you
a
got
shout
to-
out on the show, probably
right.
from Hippo.
We'll
That's
endorse
right.
you.
Virginity should be a PCP Patreon.
That should be a
reward.
Patreon reward. Yeah.
Well, no, because that's gonna make it harder for it to happen. Like we want, it should be
No,
given
wait, they
away
wanna
for
pay for
free
that
on every
little,
street corner. We should be
They want to
throwing
get
it.
his innocence.
You know, there's just there's some. I think there's a real psychological incentive. If you have to pay for something, you want it more. So maybe we could set up some reward system. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Gibbo's a great guy. I love him more than anyone, especially Ben. Everybody, go.
I'm just saying,
his girlfriend. Yeah.
Hippo's short, but he's got big hands and big feet. So
That's true.
And
know.
a big dick.
that's what I'm implying. Just the likelihood.
You know what they say about guys with big hands. You can trust them.
That's right. They're capable men at physical labor. Okay, what else we got going on?
Is that a joke from
Trump.
It's a joke from
No, that's a
Marco
joke about
Rubio.
Trump.
Yeah, Marco
Yes,
Rubio.
from Marco Rubio.
Oh, that yeah.
Yeah, you know what they say
Fucking
about guys with
Rubio.
little hands. You can't trust them.
So
Yeah.
it's
And
yeah,
if there's any,
topical.
if there's any young girls, and if there's any sex with the young kind of girls in the audience, you know, throwing this out there. I have a really comfortable new bed, and if I'm not fucking someone on it by the end of this podcast, I'm gonna shoot up a hospital. I'm just throwing that out there.
do you want that on your conscience, ladies? Come on. Get
You
serious.
had the power to stop this.
I need that sex with the young, or people will die. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word.
Okay, here we go.
And if you're 12, my buddy King Critic is looking.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now
here's the question.
there's a guy we should get on here for the sex with the young episode.
There's like a hierarchy of what everyone's looking for, like 12 to 15
yep.
King Critic, 15 to 18 Endless Jess, 18 to London Hippo.
And if you like look like you're like 14 but you're actually like 90, then that's where I come in.
Yeah.
I want footage of this event happening to Anarchy in the UK playing in the background as this kid
Hell yeah.
loses
Hell
his
yeah.
virginity. All right. Okay. Here we
Oh,
go.
I
Here's
wish I
another
could have lost
question.
my virginity to Anarchy in the UK. Go, go.
Anarchy in the fuck. All right, here we go. At Cybershell asks, this is a question I think is cool. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but what do you think about Lasagna Cat, and why is it the greatest web series of all
It's
time?
top keck. It's
Yep.
the greatest. It's
And
fucking.
there's-
It's taking the shit that is Garfield and just It's like that scene. It's like that scene in the Holy Mountain where Christ shits into the bucket and the guy alchemizes it into gold. That's what they've done with Garfield into Lasagna Cat.
That's right.
Yeah, none of the rest of us have seen
I've
the
seen
Holy
it.
Mountain.
Well,
or,
what the fuck?
I haven't seen it either. But
Well,
I
that
disagree.
happens,
I
and
say
it's a
that
good
it's an
metaphor.
insult to the glory that is Garfield, the greatest comic of all time, and how dare they mock it in such a fashion. I haven't seen the new ones, but I won't out of principle
Let me just say
for my love
just
for Garfield.
For anybody who isn't familiar, there was this series that came out like 10 years ago and stopped 9 years ago called, Lasagna Cat, which just takes like comic strips of old Garfield.
It takes like the worst and most banal Garfield strips that there are, and then enacts them with guys in like fucking, what do you call them, like fursuits basically. And then they enact the strip with like this overblown laugh track to it, and then they take what they've just done and they fucking cut it into like this fucking spicy ass music video, and fucking just jam out to this shit.
And
sometimes it just dissolves into absolute mania. And I feel like I'm having a fever dream.
Suicide is painless. It brings on many changes, and I can take or leave it if I please.
All right, next question. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
I was just gonna say, and the series came back miraculously 9 years later out of nowhere and just dumped like 20 episodes.
I'm stunned, and I have to go watch it soon.
You watch them. Oh god, the things they've done with this phone bank, like the newest episode, fucking insane. Anyway, go check it out, everybody. Watch Lasagna Cat.
Find the episode where Odie is wearing a bag on his head. That's my favorite one.
I can't remember which one that is, but they're all watch them all.
It's
they're
when
all
he
good.
dies and he goes to heaven, and then he gets sent to hell.
Oh, God.
my personal favorite is the Bailamos one, which is just like a Garfield dancing to spicy, fucky Ricky.
All right,
Baila gato. Baila gato. No, senor.
Senor. Okay, anyway. All right, this is a fascinating question.
Man,
okay,
what a bad question. It ruined the whole podcast.
Okay, but this one's great, and this one's really, God. Okay, just think about this. Okay, Outsin asks, okay, what's this fucking question? What's the worst case scenario for each of the PCP? And that's it. What's the worst case? Like what
scenario?
I'm just thinking about
all
the
of
possibilities.
my skin ripped off one chunk at a time.
That I die. That I die in any fashion ever is the worst case scenario. Best part about that, it's 100% guaranteed to happen.
Finally getting my consciousness put into a computer and becoming immortal, except it turns out that it's just torture for all time. I have no mouth and I must scream. That story. That's the worst case scenario for any of us.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good answer.
My worst case scenario is just normal immortality in my normal body.
Yeah, because you long for death. You long for death. Yeah, okay.
Right.
I'm with you.
My worst case scenario is all the innocent children at the hospital who are gonna die if I'm not having sex with the young. By the end of this podcast, it's still a thing that's really gonna happen. I've got my gun.
We're on a timer now. What do we got? Like swords, 5 minutes.
I've got my fucking my ninja daggers. I've got shurikens. I'll kill children with shurikens. I borrowed some ninja stuff from Shinobi 3.
You know what's really sad? You know what's really sad is this podcast isn't going to go up for a while, so by the time it goes up, it's going to be too late. Those kids are done.
No!
Those kids are gone already.
Yeah,
Viewers, it's a shame.
What have you done, viewers?
My worst case scenario is if I have cavities right now, because it might just be weird staining on my teeth, which is what I thought it was, but now I'm like, oh, it might be cavities. And I've never had cavities before. It's been a issue. It's been a matter of pride for me. And my cousin once told me many years ago, "Don't get cocky with your perfect teeth. I first got a cavity when I was 22." Well, I'm 22 and I might have cavities, and I just don't like being wrong. So that's the worst case scenario for me.
Shit happens.
Fair enough.
Man.
Fucking, I might have another cavity, and it might be taking my tally up to literally 30.
Well,
brush your teeth, kids. Don't be like this man. Here's
You
one
know,
more
the best
question.
way to not get cavities is to never go to the dentist. You never.
Yep.
Nate, I think you should read the question by Monkey Jones. I think now's the time.
Was that from the very start of this thing? Let me scroll back up.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, here we go. That is a good one. Okay, at Monkey Jones asks, opinion on kicking Ben out of the PCP? Well, I think we just made our case pretty eloquently just now.
I vote for.
Yeah,
I vote pro.
I vote pro. Let's do it.
All right.
I believe we were once talking about the idea of making the PCP more like Zoom, where it's a rotating cast of young people, where like once you turn 30, you're out, and it's only 20-somethings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost done.
And then I'll have to go and form my own PCP with blackjack and hookers, and then Tom and Jess will come along shortly, I hope, if they'll have me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do one more because this is a topical question. I'm curious what you guys would say. So at Spacko306, who's actually been making a bunch of cool PCP gifs. Keep making those, dude. They amuse me. Any thoughts on the Nintendo Switch and or the new Zelda? You gonna buy one or not? And
Nope.
why? I'm just curious if you guys are
I
gonna
hate
buy
video
a Switch.
games.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, here's my. I have a very, very thorough thought, which is that I was watching Vic play Breath of the Wild on the broke college students edition, the Wii U version, and he was like in a little shack. It was like a worn down shack with only a couple of beams of wood here and there, you know. And there was just like one like wall of wooden planks that was like, you know, a few inches higher than Link's head, and he walked up to that wall and pushed some button and jumped over the wall. And I didn't think he was going to be able to jump over the wall. And I was like, oh, I'm convinced this is a 10 out of 10.
Well, I am not convinced, but I do want to play it.
Well, I did buy Breath of the Wild, but I bought the Wii U version for poor people. I haven't played it yet, but it's
Yeah,
it
only
looks
poor people
great.
have a fucking Wii U.
What are you talking about?
I think Monkey's saying he's too poor to even have a Wii U.
Oh, shut up, Monkey. You've got all that fucking book money, you little bitch.
1 whole month of rent, baby. Oh, yeah.
I am going to actually buy a Switch just because it looks cool and I want the games that are coming out. And I don't have a Wii U, so if I want to play Zelda, I got no fucking choice. So I'm going to get one.
They got
Okay,
you by
cool.
the balls on this one.
They do. By the balls. All right. And there was another question about why all the questions
I'm doing
are
it,
shitty.
guys.
So there
I'm
you go.
doing
What?
it. I'm having
he's
sex
doing
with the
it.
young here on the
Yes.
podcast. All those children
Yes.
are saved.
God.
The
Yes,
hospital is
it's a
saved.
miracle. It's a miracle.
Asian wife.
Yes!
Hot Asian wife.
Asian wife.
Hot Asian
Hot
wife.
Asian
You
wife.
Hot
did it.
Asian
You
wife.
all
Hot
saved the
wife.
children. You
Hot
saved the
Asian
children's
wife.
hospital. Thank God for
Thank God.
for that girl. She's
I'm
gone
so
now. She's
I'm so
dead.
I'm so proud of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really did it. We really.
What a
this was a wonderful arc that we've journeyed on throughout this podcast.
All right, is that it?
Yeah, we're done. All right,
Thank
thanks for listening,
God.
everybody. Woo, that was an exhausting.
Everybody say
fucking
goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.